Hit it. That mic is too hot. 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 There you go. Welcome to Podcastville and the Church of What's Happening Now. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by Onnit. Go to Onnit.com for all your supplements, your weights, any steel bats, maces. They got t-shirts. They got everything. Me, I specialize in the supplement part. The acai hemp force, the chocolate hemp force protein, which they're out of, by the way. I think they might be back in stock tomorrow. How do I know? Because I put an order in myself. Also, they have their main brand.
They have Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain, 100% money back guarantee. We don't even want the goddamn product back. That's how much belief they have in Alpha Brain. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in
Church.
Bam! And get 10% off your first order. Also, these days you can practically get anything on demand. It's like our podcast, The Church. Listen whenever you want, when it's convenient for you. So why the hell are you still going to the post office and dealing with their limited hours and standing online like a mook de law when you could get postage on demand with Stamps.com? Right now, use my name, Joey, Joey, for this special offer. It's a free week trial. It includes postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else and click on the radio microphone on the top of the homepage and type in Joey. Again, Stamps.com, top radio microphone at the top of the homepage, type in Joey, Stamps.com. You'll never, ever, ever go to the post office again. Kick that mule, Lee. It ain't the 4th of July. It's the fucking 3rd of July, cocksuckers. Take the stick out of your ass. It's a beautiful day to be alive. And let's do this fucking thing, all right? Kick that mule, Lee. Don't make me blow up this computer today. I'll blow it up how I'm fucking feeling. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Dale jamón. Ahí. Here we go. This is as good as it gets, people. This is always going to be as good as it gets right here. Another lost angel, city and night. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Woo! Come on! What?
Wow!
Dude, if you're not ready to jump out your fucking car window, you ain't real right here. This is coming at you like a fucking dick in the ass. You don't even see this song coming at you. Morrison, are you fucking kidding me? Here we go. He just breaks it down for you. Oh my God. Welcome to the church. Monday, July 3rd, you bad motherfuckers. Are you kidding me? Listen, I can hear that song. Listen, I heard that song since 1965. I listened to that song 8,000 times because they played it at my house. They played it at my mom's bar. They played it in my neighborhood. Every time they play on the radio, it's like I've heard it for the first time again. Like, that's how good, to me, in my world, that's one of the top 3 songs. The lyrics, are you fucking kidding me? Are you? If you say those lyrics to a woman, they just melt. What the fuck does he say? Put it on right from there.
Oh, I let me see.
Put it on right from there. Hold on. He says.
I'm sorry, I
something-
turned it off.
He says something just beautiful. Oh, you don't even need to. I see your hair is burning.
Yes.
Hills are filled with fire. If they said I never loved you,
You know they are alive.
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you fucking? Who writes that? Who writes?
A fucking genius.
Who writes the? Come on, guys.
Yeah. No, dude, he's a freaking brilliant. He's a poet.
I'm telling you,
He's a fucking poet.
People think the CIA killed him. That was God. God said, you know what? I need somebody to rewrite the Bible. This fucking dude is dropping knowledge. This motherfucker's dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
If he would have been there when I wrote it, nobody would have been walking around confused. My guest tonight is my brother of God knows how long, Martin Moreno, and my other little brother, Mr. Lee Syatt. You know.
I think it's, you know what, can I just start off by saying that, holy fuck, this is church. This is church. No, this really is church, and I'm going to testify why this is church. Because for the last few years, I've actually been talking about the spirit of freaking Jim Morrison, and people channel that fucking spirit. When you listen to that resonates with you, and it touches you in a certain way. That motherfucker was talking to your soul, you know. But there's people that connect with that dude, and I've been like just seriously, the fact that it got tied in to the beginning of your show, that's the church, it's almost like, oh, it was preordained that it was going to happen. That was the miracle. That's the Holy Ghost.
I was going to
you know,
start with
that's what it is.
Santana, and I said, I just thought of fucking L.A. Woman. I don't know why. I just love it. To me, all my life, that song, I didn't listen, from the early age to, I liked the song. I didn't like when he starts with the Mojo Rising, but as I got older, that's the most brilliant part. That whole Mr. Mojo Rising, and he just goes off. The album is brilliant. As I got older, I liked the Doors more, and I started reading about him.
Yeah.
And my mom loved him. She was Cuban. She thought he was fucking the world's greatest looking man, him and Steve McQueen. She said they could take over the world with their cocks. It was hysterical. And I grew up on this music. You know, and it just takes me back to a different fucking time, man.
Yeah, I was hanging out with somebody actually that had a Jim Morrison tattoo, and she ended up getting fucked up. And later in retrospect, I was like, holy fuck! It was almost like the spirit of Jim Morrison was still doing fucking crazy shit, you know, and being himself. You know, people being them. You know. You
and I are both music lovers.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you ever played an instrument or not.
Never.
I tried the bass in high school.
No.
I could always play the drums. But once I got to pick something, I always knew because of my coke habit, I would pawn the guitar or the drums shelf life. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long till I pawn the guitar? So I chose not to do that. You don't bring your own microphone, thank God. Because I would have been on my 1,000th microphone at this point in my career.
Wow.
But whenever I want inspiration, brother, whenever I'm lost with a joke, I'm feeling fucking down, I put on music.
Yeah.
I go to my fucking office, I put the earphones on, and I blast whatever's on fucking YouTube till I can't hear no more. And it does something to me. You're absolutely right. It does something to me. Music has always been a kind of a motivator. I hate working out of my house because there's no music. I got to work out with the iPod. You throw a punch to the bag, the fucking earphones pop out and shit. So it's and then you look at your life later on in your life. That's when you really look at music. You know, I'm trying to write a book, so when I try to outline a chapter, I put the music on that I was listening to at that time. And within an hour, if I keep that pen moving, ideas will come back to me. Shit that I forgot just from listening to that stupid fucking album.
Bro, I mean, anything related to music. I was at the Iron Maiden concert last night, and yeah, it's great to see the band, but the magic that happens outside, even before you get there. It's an event even before you get there. You're with like-minded people who are like, they don't want to fucking hurt anybody. They just want to have a good fucking time and listen to some loud fucking music.
I remembered a week ago why I enjoyed watching live comedy again. Like, I'm sick of specials. I'm done. I'm gonna watch Man on Fire with my dog. What's his name?
Crystalia.
Did you watch it yet?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to.
I'm gonna watch Man on Fire with Crystalia, and I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Do you watch a lot of specials?
You know, you try to. You try
Yeah.
to watch comics, and you try to take the whole hour. I can't even watch my whole hour. I gotta watch 20 minutes and go for a fucking walk and drink a fucking cold glass of water or something and come back. So,
But you're your worst critic as well.
but the other thing is that I forgot how much I love getting high and sitting in the back of the comedy store and watching 4 or 5 comics. I really forgot how much. You know, I remember in Houston years ago, they would have the open mic from 7 to 2 in the morning. And they would go, what the fuck? And the place would be sold out. And it was that people want to see a train wreck. There's people that love open mics. You know, people want to go to open mics for different reasons.
I did an open mic in Spanish a couple of weeks ago in a bar in East LA. So yeah, I mean, it's in Spanish,
Now, was-
100% Spanish.
Now, I see that they do it at the Comedy Store and they're
Yeah.
doing it a couple places.
Yeah.
Is Spanish stand-up making a comeback? Is it growing? I'm sorry, not a
Okay,
comeback.
I don't think that it's ever. You know what? That's funny that you asked that. Spanish comedy has hit its evolution right now. Like there's so much like political instability, to say the least, that a lot of these guys aren't doing the 2 drunk guys walk into the bar jokes anymore, because that's what it used to be. It used to be a lot of, you know, elementary dick jokes and fucking really like jokey jokes, or a story. Yeah, this drunk guy showed up and blah 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 blah, and it was funny and it worked, but that was the formula. And in the last, I want to say maybe 10 years or less, the monologue has come on the scene, and there's these dudes that are like, they're killing it. They're saying a lot of shit.
Just talking in Spanish, though.
Spanish, 100% Spanish.
That's crazy. I like I've watched the Cuban guy. I grew up on the Mexican dude that used to do. You know, I thinking about doing it now. Like I would go on stage and give it a try just because it's who I am.
You
I
would
should do
fucking
it.
kill it.
Not really.
You would.
Not really.
Dude,
Because
listen. It's
I would
the
have
same.
I would have to play a character.
No.
Yes, I
no,
would.
no.
No, if I went up there, the only way for me to make this funny, trust me, I'm telling you.
A Cuban.
But I would have to be like one of the dudes. I would have to go up there, number one, and be fucking filthy. Like, I remember walking, I was tight with Felicia.
They love it. They
I
love
was
filth.
tight with Felicia.
They love filth.
And I would walk into a house every Tuesday to do a podcast. And every week I would say, Juan is our house cleaner. And watches the kids and takes the kids to school. And I would walk in, being raised how I was, and I would go, Buenos días, Juana, in Spanish. And she'd go, Buenos días, Jose, or whatever the fuck she'd say. And after about 5 or 6 weeks of this, I walked in one day and I go, let me take a chance. You know, Juana would watch Telemundo in the kitchen and shit like that. And I had like a suntan. So she bought right into it. I walked up to her and I go, Coño, Juana, estoy cansado. That means I'm tired. And she goes, ¿Por qué? And I go, because I just came back from Vegas and it was hot and I couldn't sleep because the air conditioner in the room. And I go, and on top of that, when you're in Vegas, they blow oxygen in the room. And she goes, really? Oh, it's a shame. And I go, the only good part was the pool. But the weirdest thing happened at the pool. And she goes, what happened? And I go, I'm in the water. And there's a gay guy walking past, and there's a gay guy in the water. And the gay guy walking says to him, Oye, ¿cómo está la agua? And the gay guy goes, de pinga. And the other guy goes, bueno, me tiro de culo. Right?
Right.
She looked at me for like a second. That's like a really dirty joke. Like, how's the water? The water's like a cock. Well, I'm gonna, because it doesn't translate in English.
But I'll tell you that they do
She
a lot
died.
of those jokes.
She died.
Yeah, they love it.
She
They
died.
love it.
And then after that,
Yeah.
I could hit it with not material. I'm not ready to do material. I'm ready to do one of the characters that would hang at my mother's bar with that style of Cuban. It's a style of Cuban that a lot of Cubans don't dig. It'll go over in Miami, in Kendall. These are wild. When I speak in Spanish,
Yeah.
these are wild. I speak a wild Cuban dialect.
A wild Cuban dialect.
When people hear it, they look at me.
What the fuck is a wild Cuban? Like, I've heard Cubans speak. I grew up surrounded by Cubans. Cubans taught my mom how to cook. Like, they legit taught her how to make Cuban
crazy,
shit.
dog.
No, we were dude. We had Cubans to the right, Cubans to the left, Cubans behind us.
I called Becky the other night. I told her what they call pussy in Spanish. La sahuaca, la papaya. You know,
Papaya, right.
La papaya encendida. You know, that's what you should tell these Spanish dudes.
You just called Becky up and told her this?
Yeah,
you
were
Becky?
right here. You were right here in the room. She was on the phone going, "Oh my God!"
But I mean, it's like a question. It's a legit question. What do you call it? You know?
She goes, "I'm not even going to tell my mother."
Because some people get
la
offended.
papaya, el gorila, el mono,
Gorilla?
la araña pelúa. That means the hairy spider. In Spanish, they have 1,000 names for the vagina. You know?
Because they're not allowed to talk about the fucking vagina. So they got to talk. They literally. That's where that shit had to have come from. They had to disguise the fact that, and now all those fucking names just kind of stuck as like a fucking I don't know, almost like a crazy reminder of the oppression.
There's a Cuban comedian who's very popular. What's his name? Not Angel Salazar, not the kid from the Comedy Store. A guy that does just albums in Miami, and he fucking does these albums in Miami. Fuckingly huge, and he's dirty.
Okay.
You know, later on, once I have to, for me to write Spanish stand-up, I have to sit down for a while, and there's no way really to work it out. Just at your spot once a week.
Right.
Like I could pop into the comedy store. You were popping.
So you could do whatever you're doing in English. You wouldn't have to do a whole different set. You could just do the same thing. You just translate it, and a lot of it sounds like it doesn't translate. But you'll find a word that's funny that still gets the same point across. Because the situation's what's funny. And then a word just kind of helps to sell it. And you're a master wordsman.
It's funny because when I was growing up, there was a dude named Monina. We used to go to my mother's bar. That was a street name, Monina. Monina means, in that Spanish Abacuá religion, Monina, if I see you on the street, that's a word of affection. This guy was a sweetheart. He wore a wig, and he sold coke, so he'd hide the coke under his wig. You can't write this shit. But Monina had a way with words. And on all the Catholic holidays, the Cuban Catholic holidays, my mother would let Monina tell a story. If he did a couple bumps, my mom would have to cut him off. It was hysterical. Monina, ya, hombre, ya, compadre, ya. I gotta sell drinks, you know what I'm saying? But it was weird that...
Dude, it's crazy. Like, every time you say that, you say it very nonchalantly, you know?
Like
very matter of fact. But, you know, you're legit talking about being a kid, talking about, you know, your mother checking a motherfucker on his coke intake. Like,
hysterical.
You saw, no, but you saw so much so young, and you were prepared for anything that this bitch threw at you because of that.
But at that age, I knew what cocaine was. I knew they were all doing it.
Right.
I didn't give them attention. I wouldn't give them attention. From time to time, from the age of maybe 7 to maybe the time she died, I would open my mouth about it if it was obvious and there were outsiders in the room. If we'd be at the bar and my mom, and it was 9 o'clock, and I was walking into the bar from karate, and there was a couple of customers at the bar drinking, people playing pool, I put my gi down in the back. I'd go to the back, get a soda. If I went to the bar and she had white on her nose and those 3 dudes in that bar was packed, I would say something to them. And then my mom would say something to them. And then I would overhear them. Like, they would go, around him, be careful. Like, my mom would, at a young age,
right,
my mom would tell people, be careful around Jose Antonio. He's a fucking hawk. Be careful what you do. But
kids see shit.
We see shit.
Yeah, everybody see. Listen, I remember the guys that would go. They would leave. There would be a group of guys that would leave the party, and they'd go around the block, and then they'd come back, and they'd be laughing, and they'd smell like fucking weed.
Right.
You knew what they were doing. Everybody knew that they were smoking bud, but it's like they left and they hid to do it. Everybody was drinking tequila, drinking alcohol, fucking pounding cigarettes like it was no problem. But the minute a joint came out, the need to go hide it was so, like what the fuck? It's so weird. You know?
I was exposed to weed as this is nothing, don't worry about it type of drug.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine. Don't worry about nothing bad's gonna happen. And for years, I didn't like weed. I smelled it, but I had a godfather who baptized me, and he was a fucking pothead. Like, who I am today is him. He would smoke and giggle by himself, and his eyes just get red. And as a young kid, I would look at him and go, this motherfucker's having a good time. Like, even though I was against marijuana, I would go, this motherfucker's having a blast by himself. Like, there's times we would go, bro, this guy was solid. He would take me I had no father.
Funny.
So from the age of 4.5 to like fucking 8, every Saturday, he'd pick me up and take me to a movie. We'd go eat something.
He was a good guy.
And then in the car, he'd roll a joint. And he'd say, don't tell your mother about this. And he'd smoke, you know what I'm saying? And he'd get high and start giggling. Then we go to a movie. Sometimes the movie we were going to go see as men was sold out. Like, I used to tell him, take me to fucking men movies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one time we went to see, like, the Love Bug. Like one of those Herbie Rides Again shows. Like, that was it. That was the only matinee movie there was. Here I was a 6-year-old with the mind of a 10-year-old. Really? A fucking Volkswagen that flies around the air. What am I, retarded? And he's over there stoned to the gills, giggling like fucking, this is the funniest thing he ever saw in his life.
Just love it's genius.
And I'm like, wait a second, maybe there's something to this marijuana. So it was always in the back of my mind. Didn't smoke it.
That's so funny.
When I was like, my mom had the bar. One night I saw her take a sip of wine. So I waited until she went to bed. I took the whole bottle of wine. I drank it. When she woke up, she couldn't find me. She called the police. They found me in the closet with shit and puke all over myself because I drank the bottle of wine. Alcohol's never really been my thing, you know what I'm saying? So the drug exposure in my home was and then it was like Goodfellas. My mother's friends, everybody that my mother's circle did it. Now, here was the fucked up part, Martin. That if that person had kids, I was not allowed to discuss the drug use with those kids. Because maybe the way they were being raised, they didn't know what their family did, even though I knew. So, for example, if I went to your house and I was at Coco and I was 7, I would go to your house to play with your 8-year-old son, Martincito Jr., right?
Right.
Martin would never know that you were a drug baron and you shot people. I knew because you hung out at my mother's bar and I heard the reputation of you. So I would go to your house, play with your kids, and I wouldn't even mention it. And the parents would look at my mom and go, he cool? And then she would go, yeah. So if my mom nodded for me, I knew I couldn't open up my mouth at all. So growing up all those years, I grew up with like a secret. I couldn't let them know. Even when I was like 10 or 11 and cocaine started scratching, and you would hear rumblings about it, maybe 12.
Yeah.
From hearing people at the bar and, you know, I had already known what people were talking about. So when you would...
I mean, there was no weed in my house, and I knew about weed when I was in fucking, like, 4th grade, and we're talking, this was the 70s.
I was totally against weed.
Yeah,
and I think the 6th grade I finally cracked.
I tried it in 7th.
7th.
I did it in 7th. That's when I cracked.
7th grade, you know, a joint between 22 people. And then you giggle and go to Blimpie Base, and you get thrown out for giggling and acting like an asshole, and you would get paranoid. I can't go home. Why not? They're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. And we Visine you. We fucking hit you with cologne. You know,
Yes.
and it was a once. It went from
And
being,
Banaka.
and Banaka like a motherfucker. It went from being a once every 3-month thing
Yeah.
to once a month. And then all of a sudden, fucking Lee Syatt, a student, guy I grew up with, guy who never wanted nothing to do with me after 10, is calling me up because he wants to score a pound of weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it went. And you're like, okay. So Lee's smoking weed, so it's okay if I smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, in your mind, you're like,
Yeah. Lee's
Lee's an A student. If Lee's getting high, shit. I'm definitely getting fucking high. Shit, Lee, you getting high? Fuck yeah, I'm getting high. Okay.
Yeah, people are afraid. It's weird. People are afraid of it. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of it. And it's kind of like, you know, and there's a lot of like stoner jokes that have probably did it a lot of, you know, disservice, you know, like, just don't know anything, bro. Like, I forget everything, man. And it's like just the idea that anybody that smokes is just going to just be completely clueless, you know, it's not. That's not a fact, you know. I mean, it's funny you don't give a fuck about a lot of shit.
Well, you have to build to that point, Martin. I mean, I respected it. It was a social thing for me. I'm meeting Martin and Lee to go see Apocalypse Now. What the fuck you think we're gonna do?
Right.
We're gonna split a 6-pack.
Yeah.
You know, and we're gonna smoke 5 joints. We're gonna buy, bro. We're not even getting 7 joints. We're buying some African weed. And we're getting 5 joints for $10. We smoke weed.
Yeah.
Then it became, Lee, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Nothing. I'm going to school. What the fuck you think I'm doing? What time's your first class? 8:45. Meet me at 8:30 by the doors. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? We're getting high, dog. No, we're not. I got a science class at 9:30. Lee, I'll fucking sidekick you in the stomach. You're smoking this joint with me. And then we'd smoke a little. Oh, Lee, we would get.
My God.
And Lee, let me tell you something. We'd get stoned outside, walk back into high school. And you're from Boston, so in the winter it's cold.
Yeah.
When you walk into the heat, the reefer intensifies.
Can't even imagine,
And
especially at that age.
And we go back to the classroom in high school, and that's how it started. I never dreamed of smoking marijuana in the daytime. I was not raised to smoke marijuana in the daytime.
How old were you the first time you smoked marijuana in the daytime? Ballpark.
16.
16.
But it started like at, we would get high at 11.
Lunchtime.
Like lunchtime, we would
Yeah.
play hooky.
Yeah.
And by the time we got the beer and we got to the park,
Yeah.
it was 10:30. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that was my life. That was my fucking
Okay, that was my
yeah,
life
That was
for
my
a while.
life, yeah.
But
in
then
school, in high school.
It got to the point where you got stoned before high school. That was like my junior year. Like towards the middle of my junior year, I was actually me. Or you would go to school for a few classes and then I would meet somebody like at 10. My friend Devo and a couple of us.
Dude, school was I'm not gonna say I didn't learn anything, but it was more of a social gathering for me.
I learned in school
too.
because I would
learned
listen,
too. Yeah.
but for me it was.
You
Like I
know?
went to school the day after my mother died. Because A, I hated missing, and B, it was when I went to commiserate. It was my social fucking gathering. I shared a locker with a girl. She had friends. You talked to those dirty animals. You talked to your friends. Who else had a locker? Who was in homeroom? Who had 20?
Yeah, no, it was a social gathering. You went and you got all the information of what was gonna happen the next day or for the weekend or whatever party. I mean, the fuck did we start talking about this?
It's crazy. I've been out of high school 10 years. I think even now still, I'd be afraid to go to a class stoned. That blows my mind.
I didn't do it on the reg, but I remember in summer school, specifically when you were saying that, I was thinking how I was there and I had gotten high before class.
Ooh.
And I went and it was like this, I had to draw a cube and like with like a 4-dimensional
Right,
cube.
yeah.
And dude, do you know how freaking hard it was to do that stoned? I was like, I remember the picture and it was like all distorted and fucking crazy. I was trying to connect lines and shit. I was stoned trying to make a fucking cube.
Talking the 7th grade,
No, it wasn't 7th grade though. That was probably like in about,
it's like 7th grade.
Yeah.
The second time.
yeah.
Okay.
In the 8th grade, we would go to ShopRite right behind the grammar school. We would
Yeah.
walk like 200 yards. There was an embroidery factory. We would walk behind there, and then we'd smoke pot, and we'd go inside into ShopRite. In those days, they made sandwiches, believe it or not. And we'd get that. No, I'm lying to you. They did something else.
So you didn't smoke in the school?
No, we smoked off the property. We went to ShopRite, bought something to eat, but shoplifted Hubba Bubba.
Nice.
A whole 10-pack of Hubba
Hubba
Bubba.
Bubba.
5 kids with a 10-pack of Hubba Bubba. That means you're going to war from 1 to 3. There's going to be more bubble gum.
That's
And we
freaking-
would go back to
What kind of war are you going to wage with bubblegum?
just throw it at Lee. Lee would be in the front row, and we would all bombard Lee that day, and then Lee would get pissed.
People love bubble
I'll
gum.
never forget a fucking janitor came in one day with a
Holy
ladder.
mother of God.
With a fucking
That's
ladder.
fucking funny.
Like this, guys. So he's got his left hand covering the ladder. The blackboard is where his right hand is. He's walking in, and I'll never forget the kid's name. I am friends with his now. His name is Orlando Salcedo. In the 8th grade, he sat in the back of the class. He was one of those dudes that was a little retarded. He was 15. We talk on Facebook now. And for years I thought about him. because he did a legendary noise. My 8th grade class was so legendary because we knocked the teacher out. Miss Walsh never came back. Miss Walsh started the year telling us how she was 64. She had met every savage. She had been there when there was no electricity, when they taught with candles, and we were not going to antagonize her. She had heard of our reputation. Da 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 da. I got to tell you something about Miss Walsh. God rest her soul.
Oh, you killed her?
No, nice. No. The first 2 months, we tormented her. We tormented her till we got to her and she got to us. Then the other 8th grade teacher went on sabbatical in October. They were friends for 40 years. And then the other teacher came in, Wally Lindsay. He was a Weehawken mayor. He came in to teach in my 8th grade. And finally one day he held us and said, guys, you got to knock it off with her because she's going to have a nervous breakdown and quit, or like he just broke it down for us. You can't keep doing this stuff. Bro, at 1 o'clock, from 1 to 3, that class was live. Bubblegum flying to, like I told you, the janitor came in. He came in, and all of a sudden Orlando picked up. Orlando would get 10 pieces of Hubba Bubba and put it in his mouth at one fucking time, take it out, mold it into a brick, and whip it at you.
Uh-huh.
And the teacher came, the principal came, the whatever, the guy who fixes the fucking shit, came in, and all these janitors were fucked up. You had Eagle Eye, his eye went up.
Because no one accepting these jobs because they have to be human shields for teachers.
That's fucking crazy.
You had Benny was a high school janitor who I used to tell him when I walked in, I used to go, Benny, I got some blackberry brandy. Where is it? In the locker. We'll get it later. And every class, when I got out, Benny would be there. Where's that blackberry brandy you were talking about? But in the 8th grade, we would throw gum at each other, but every afternoon at about 3 o'clock we would do something, algebra or something. At 2 o'clock, and Orlando would sit in the back and go, wow. Let me explain something to you.
What the fuck?
Now there'd be one guy in the 3rd row reading whatever the chapter was about, and him and that person would be having a discussion, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you heard, wow.
So it would be like
every 6 minutes for like an hour until she until she reacted to it. He'd sit in the back.
Just to get the reaction is crazy.
Because she knew if she would say something, she would have a nightmare. So he would sit back there, and then he would get like deeper. He'd go, and then he'd go, and then he would go back to, wow, and then
wait, and there's everybody just fucking dying.
Some people laughing. Some people. Now, there was a dude.
Like, dude, there's a lot of humans in there. Not just the fucking teacher.
Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something. The crazy thing about this. You never knew when we were going to go off. All right, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you had like math from 1 to 2.
You guys were
and then
monsters.
from 2 to 3, you had like social studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say Tuesday and Thursday had a different schedule. Every day we had a different setup for her. Like every day in the afternoon was a different set of torture. But that was the main. But then there was a dude that sat next to me. His name was, I'll never forget him, Michael Allegretta. This guy was an A-plus student since kindergarten. He moved from Italy. His dad was like a scientist. His mother was like a fucking astronomer. This guy's English wasn't very good. But he hung with us. He didn't get high. He was cool as shit, though. We gave him some bubble gum. I wouldn't let people throw bubble gum at him because he was like a kind of a nerd. We played street hockey. We used to hit him in the shins just to hear him go, ay, 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 ay.
Oh, my God.
Like everybody else would go, ouch, ouch. You hit him in the shins, and he'd go, ay, 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 ay. All right, so Michael was a cool dude. But this dude was like a fucking Yale dude. Like he was going to go to Yale, you could tell. And one afternoon, he started with the, wow.
Oh, shit.
So now it was fucking her, Michael Allegretta and Orlando and Dominic Speciale in stereo going off. I'll never forget this day like yes. Like if I ever get to do a TV show, this scene would be in it. Like I have 10 scenes from that classroom in my head that I can't lie to you as a man. There's times I think about him and tears come to my eyes from emotion. Like at that time, Fleetwood Mac Rumors was the big album.
Wow.
Okay? So that was the theme of that classroom. If I ever write that book, get to that, I'm gonna have to write it in chapters with the names of the songs, because it was Rumors. Rumors was everything you heard. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. Everything was Rumors. So it's Michael, Dominic, Miss Walsh. I'm over here. You see that Def Leppard?
Yeah.
That's Miss Walsh. That's how close she was to me. I was in the first row. Michael Allegretta's right here, and Dominic's Dominic's where I am, only on the right side of the class. Orlando's in the deep right. All of a sudden, she's reading this book. I'll never forget this, bro. Gums flying, planes are going off in the air, people are making fart noises, and then it was timing. And in the middle of all this, you hear, wow. And then somebody would do something else, and Michael Allegretti would go, wow. And then somebody else would do something, and Dominic Speciale would go, wow. And this just went on. This was like, and Gum was hitting the blackboard. Charlie Gizzy's in the back fucking shooting planes as they went by. Charlie Gizzy was a kid that sat on my side. He was the last guy in the classroom. And whenever a plane went by, he jumped out of his desk and would go behind the desk and shoot the plane down. This is a real deal. He's in jail for murder today.
What the
Just to let you know, we had a crazy grammar school dog. I got to write this on paper. This is unbelievable. But I'll never forget this certain day. Michael Allegretti was hitting it. Orlando Salcedo was hitting it. And Dominic Speciale, God rest his soul, was hitting it. They were all there hitting it. Wow. 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 And she fucking took her book and just put it down. And she goes, if it's not that, what the fuck did she say? Something about, I'll never forget this. She said,
the fact that you guys inspired her to what sounds like a fucking
early retirement,
she turned it around, bro. She took those glasses off. She had like a stroke. So she had like a stiff eye.
Give her a stroke?
Not us. Like the 8 years before, she had a stroke in the summer. I love Miss Walsh, and she goes, if it's not the heavy breathing, it's something else. What in the world is this? And my friend goes, meet the noise. right to her face. He goes, meet the noise, right? This is in the 8th grade, dog. We were animals.
That's funny. Like, that teacher should have. If you were that teacher, would you not have laughed?
No.
At the line?
Dog, I saw Louis Aldevar. I was in the bathroom one day popping a pimple on my face. I was the only one in the basement. This school didn't have a gym until we got to the 8th grade. So in the wintertime, you shoveled snow. And that's how you got an A or a B or a C. Like from November to January, if you were a good shoveler, and you had to see those fucking stairs at McKinley.
Good shoveler?
You had to see the stairs at McKinley. Sometimes you shoveled.
Child
Sometimes
labor.
you did pull-ups and shit like that. In the 7th and 8th grade classrooms, outside of that, there was a thin alley, and they would make you run in there. Like, it was crazy. We didn't have a gym. So these kids would go
You
to
motherfuckers were shoveling snow.
Shoveling snow, and I'll never forget walking out of that bathroom one day, and I see Louis Aldevar being grabbed by the principal, Leo Gattoni. I'll never forget this, bro. And Leo was yelling at him. Louis was in the 7th grade. Big kid. He was Cuban, but because of his skin color.
Were they still hitting people when you were going to school?
Listen to me. They weren't hitting people.
Oh, yeah.
They were walking down, and they called him El Ruso.
Okay.
Because he was a Cuban dude. He hung out with this kid Juan and Alberto Ali. We'll get to them later. This is all in this class, 7th, 8th grade. I'm coming out of the bathroom. They're about 60 yards from me. They don't see me. I see them coming towards me because the stairs are to my right-hand side. They're obviously going to the principal's office. So right as I open the door, none of them sees me. I see Mr. Gattoni grab Louis Aldevar by his left arm. Okay? As they're walking, like the cops would grab me to take me upstairs. Louis Aldevar went away. Leo Gattoni grabbed him over here on the left side of the collar, and fucking Louis Aldevar unleashed the right hand on him. Do you understand me? Where I went to grammar school, unleashed the right hand on him that this teacher's leg stumbled and went out from under him, bro. And he goes, now you're really done. And then Lewis goes, to say it again, I'll bust your fucking mouth. And Mr. Gattoni just ran away. And next thing you know, they put Louis in the pilot program when they sent him to the high school because you're too stupid. He was Cuban, but he didn't speak English. So they held you back until you learned English in those days. You know, these people complain about racial shit, dog. And nobody complained. As long as you were learning, these kids were just, you had to work harder in the summers. But Louis Alnavar was part of a trio, the Ali brothers. Juan and his brother Carlos. And Carlos was a little retarded. Whatever Juan said, Carlos was on board. No, Alberto, Ali, and Juan. Juan was the mastermind, something like that. Mm-hmm. The other guy just stood next to him and said, see? He was just retarded. He was a little, his skin was a little darker. We were as young as we used to jump the dumpster at Duratest and take the light bulbs out. Duratest used to be a big company in Union City. And they made, you know those long light bulbs?
Yeah.
The 6 feet office ones? They would make those, but the duds, they would put them in the garbage. We would take them out and hit each other in the head with them. And white powder would come out. That's why half of us are dead. We inhaled that white powder in the 70s and shit. They lived close to that, their house. So for us to play with them, but the strange thing about
and that shit was just out there for you to have access to.
And we also had access to the Banaka factory.
It was in a dumpster. It wasn't just like...
Yeah, and
yeah,
light bulbs.
Still.
So light bulbs, we'd have wars. So in those days, I would go up to Lee and go, Lee, fuck you. And I'd hit Lee in the head with a light bulb. He wouldn't cut himself or nothing. He would just get white dust in his head.
Sure.
Dude,
and then
it was dangerous back then.
I would hit Lee in the back with fucking glass pipes, those glass things. Oh my God. It wouldn't hurt him. He wouldn't get electrocuted or nothing. He would hit me back. I wouldn't be mad at him. That's what you did with those things. But I don't know how old I was. Let's pretend I'm 12 and I'm hanging out with Alberto, Juan,
I was having play dates at 12.
I'm hanging out with Martin Perez, whose father at the time was Batista's driver. So when they came from Cuba, they were basically hunting the Perez family down. Like, people knew he lived there. Years later, I went to school. Martin Perez was not in school. He had been taken out of school. His parents had disappeared. They went into witness protection. That's how bad it was. That a lot of people knew this guy was with Batista in Cuba, and they started hating him. And they started hating on his son and shit like this.
This is at 12. You're aware of this stuff at 12.
I'm aware of this shit.
Yeah. That's big shit to be aware of at 12. You know, you just said that, 12, most people play dates. Do you think that 12, 30, 40 years ago was different than 12 today?
Jesus by
a
scary amount.
I think
is it the same?
I think 12-year-old Joey could beat up like at most 25.
12-year-old Joey could not beat up a soul. 12-year-old Joey was very shy and scared in those days.
Yeah, of course. I remember 12-year-old Martine.
But I'll tell you what I was. I was slick as fuck. I was smart as fuck. Yo me sabía ya.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
From my mother's bar, I knew what a person was like. I knew the fuck to stay away from.
I knew shit from my grandma. My grandma told me shit.
I knew shit that, like I said, I was raised in a certain... But the question that bothers me still is how do I want my daughter to be raised at 12? Do I want her to be exposed to the same thing I was exposed to? The only person who's going to expose her to that stuff is me, by talking to her about it. And explaining to her about what type of people are out there.
Absolutely.
And hopefully half of it sinks in and half of it doesn't.
Dude, that's exactly what's fucking like. I think like your daughter is how old now?
4.
She's 4. My granddaughter will be 4 in
I can't sleep
in November. She's gonna be 4 in November.
I can't sleep at night. Thinking about the future.
Listen, I'm like, look, we gotta stop telling them. This is what I'm talking about on stage when I do my little unspoken word with the music and shit. That's what I'm talking about. How do we keep treating our daughters different than our sons? We expose our sons to a lot of information, a lot of crazy shit that we want to shelter our daughters from 100%. We're gonna protect them from it, and we're not gonna protect them from it. We're just not going to talk about it. It's not going to take away the fact that shit's out there.
Martin, you do not want your daughter to know about that time in Tucson when you gangbanged 3 chicks with Alfred Robles. There's things that your kids need to know, and there's kids that your things need to know maybe later as a joke at a dinner table, And your daughter says, Daddy, did you really do that? Honey, I was a different man.
Whoa, listen.
There's a lot of shit I want my daughter to understand, but as she gets older and she's prepared to get that information. You know, I live in fear. She's going to live in a YouTube era. Eventually, she's going to put two and two together. I really want to hide the stand-up from her, and I want to hide the acting from her until she really knows what's going on. I never wanted to come home and say, well, my friends at school are actresses, and I want to be an actress. I'll shoot myself. Just tell me you're bringing home a fucking ISIS for dinner. It's the same damage you're doing to me. But you can just do so much with your child. There's no perfect parent.
No, absolutely not.
It's you want to say it's a 50-50 toss-up. Listen, man, I came from a house of love, but it was too much exposure too soon for the computer. I'm telling you.
Listen, the computer changed the game.
No, for the computer. The real computer.
I thought you were talking about like
I don't believe. I believe that when you're a kid 7 and you're rolling reefer in front of your child, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm just giving you about my train of thought here. You're rolling a joint in front of your son and blowing this. You know what, man? When you're 7, your dad is your idol. Your dad is your hero. Your mom is your hero. Once they put two and two together, like I did, this is why I make these statements, because I did. Once I put two and two together, those kids that I avoid at 13, I avoid them for so long. Until one day I go, wait a second. Me and Lee are sitting at home watching a stupid fucking Will Ferrell movie, and all our other 13-year-olds are behind Nikki Swazzle's house sucking titties and fingering chicks and smoking reefer. Maybe we should smoke pot. What do you think, Lee? I don't know. Joey, can I tell you a secret, Joey?
13.
What? I found about a year ago, I went to my dad's room to get a check for school, and I found a bag of marijuana. I go, what'd you do with it? Nothing. I didn't touch it. I didn't tell my mother. And all of a sudden, Lee's my best friend. I go, Lee, my mother smokes pot. I kind of smelt it one day, Joey, and you didn't say nothing to me, Lee. So guess what? Both of our heroes are compromised now. Now it leaves us a doubt, where before we wouldn't have gotten high, which I would never. Martine, I saw in front of my eyes what was going on as a child. In front of me, I had cocaine, I had marijuana, I had alcohol, and something that also existed in front of me that I never really talk about. Not on my mother's angle. My mother never did it, but I saw people around her as the heroin. So I saw all 4 of those.
And I agree that those are dangerous as fuck. But again, I would not put marijuana in the same category as heroin, and in a lot of cases alcohol.
It doesn't matter.
In a lot of cases
you're
alcohol.
Still the child's fucking
No.
You're still the child's hero.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying you should sit there and blow smoke in front of
No.
I'm not saying any of that.
My perspective is, you're the child's hero.
How many child heroes drink in front of their kid with no problem?
I'm going to tell you something. Don't come crying to me when your kid gets his DUI.
Right?
Don't come crying to me when your kid, you know what I'm saying, because they're trying to emulate their parents. Listen, as a child, if I'm at Martine's house, and Lee's there, and Gabriel's there, and Alfred Robles is there, and we're all 12, and we're having a sleepathon. You know why we're having a sleepathon? Because all 4 or 5 of our parents are getting together to do drugs, drink, and God knows what else, and party. Then Saturday they come back home and they take us home, and they're kind of hungover all day, and we get to see it. It kind of bothers us as kids. We really wanted to do something on Saturday, but they're kind of fucking hungover. You know, bro, that sits with you for a while. I don't want to ever even have a fucking cocktail in my house. You understand me, Martin?
No.
I'm going to give it to my daughter as the time comes. But again, I really believe that if you see your hero doing something, more than likely you're going to fucking do it. Okay? That's your fucking hero. That's your first hero. Everybody sitting at this fucking table, our first hero was either our mother or our fucking father, okay? And some of us could handle the drug use, and some of us could handle their shortcomings, but some of us couldn't. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't mind that my mom smoked. I minded that my mom drank, and my mom, thank God I didn't take that shit from her.
Yeah.
Thank God. She was one of those fucking idiots that would drink at 9 in the morning a Heineken with tomato juice in it. You know, my mom was one of those people, because my mom owned a bar. My mom knew one thing. if you're an owner or you're behind that bar, for you to sell drinks, you got to drink.
Right.
For me to effectively sell drinks, I got to go there door for door with Lee. Lee wants to come down and drink, dog. Lee's not having a good day. None of his fucking faggy friends from the movie theater want to drink with him. But guess what? If Lee's got a pocket full of money, Uncle Joe will drink with him all till 4 in the morning. And you got to have a cut-off blouse that at least shows cleavage. That's how you get people fucking drinking. You understand me? And that's how you fill up that tip jar. And if your stupid boyfriend sits at the edge of the table and sits there all night, you're not going to have any fucking customers. Because the customers are the fucking drinks and the tits. That's what attracts those fucking drinks to sit there like humps all fucking night. My mom had a system, even her bartenders. No husbands, no boyfriends allowed on the premises. Don't even have them come pick you up. We'll pay for your cab. We don't want nobody to know you have a boyfriend. You've always been single. Take that wedding band off. Take that ugly picture of your fucking kid off your fucking neck. You know what I'm saying? My mom knew how to sell alcohol. That was her job, to sell alcohol. My mom knew if you got 4 people. I remember one time.
And the service is a performance. That's right. You go, you see the bartenders do their thing. They entertain you.
Now there's no performance. I tell Lee 1,000 times. 20 years ago to fly in this country, I got to tell you something with the most confidence attitude I've ever fucking told you, Lee Syatt. Your Jewish little mind is going to freak out.
I'm ready.
If I tell you this, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, if you got on a plane and you were handsome, you were dressed well, and you drank and you knew how to mingle, you had a 60% chance of picking up a chick on the plane.
Were people just walking around?
Walking around. People would buy you drinks. What are you guys drinking? We'll give them 3 cocktails over there. Next thing you know, excuse me for a second, can we move our seats over here? These are friends of ours. You just met them at the airport. You just met them online. You just met them at the bar. They told you they were going to fucking New York too. And next thing you know, you got 6 people together buying drinks and drinking. Next thing you know, another guy comes over. You guys know anything about L.A.? Yeah, man, I used to live there. Where's the Sunset Strip? Oh, shit, it's a fucking party. Jesus, I got this Coke in my pocket. Let's go to the bathroom and do a couple blasts. That's what flying was.
Wow. That's why the Mile High Club thing began.
I can't tell you how many first class and all these levels were completely different. A little before I started bringing the Coke, traveling coast to coast, planes were all double-deckers, guys.
Were there less seats?
First class was upstairs. There was less seats.
Wow.
Even coach, you didn't sit like an animal. Half a coach was smoking cigarettes. So the people that were smoking in the back, they all knew their savages. Hey, let me get a cigarette. All right, oh, where you from? I'm from Connecticut. I'm from fucking Bay Shore. Oh, shit. Let's have a whiskey. That's what I brought. One time I was on a plane, and I was moving to Colorado Springs. In my mind, it was over. I'm moving to Colorado Springs. And I got on that fucking People's Express was an airline for people who partied and did blow. People's Express was probably, I'd love to do a documentary on People's Express and see who really owned it. It had to be cocaine people. Because their first flights were...
What the fuck?
They only went from New York to England, New York to L.A., and New York to Miami. But the secret about Miami was they flew to L.A. 5 times a day. No reservations. They left at 4. You had to be at the airport at 2 and stand online.
What time frame was this?
What do you mean, years?
Yeah.
83 to about 89.
Wow.
I think I sank them in like 86 because you could pay on the plane. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So you would get in line like
So
West?
they flew out of Newark. So you went to Newark.
Oh my
You
God.
got online, and sometimes you were lucky. Sometimes I go, fuck it, take me back. I'll come back tomorrow.
I'll come back.
You yell. How long you been online for? A day. Fuck it. Because it was cheap. It was $99, $69 from fucking Newark to Los Angeles. But it was $3 for a can of soda, $5 for a veggie tray,
Wow.
$3 for a pillow, $2 for a
Wow.
blanket. You know, they didn't charge for luggage, but they did something else that pissed you
That's
off.
so fucking crazy.
So what you did was you ran up a tab on the plane, and 40 minutes before you land, the woman would come to you with the old credit card things. Not even the computer. You give her whatever.
Wow.
They didn't ask you for ID. That's the last thing they wanted was ID. That's the last thing they wanted was ID. They wouldn't know you were a fake till you landed and were 20 miles in the other direction. That's when they would run and go, this guy's a fake. This credit card's stolen. Oh, we were fucking them up. But here was the beauty.
That's not even the beauty?
No. Here's the beauty of it, how to justify the statement I made to fucking Martine. To justify the statement I made to Martine, I gotta tell you why I made this statement. Because right about the time Miami Vice came out, just go to People's Express, history of People's Express. People's Express got very popular in 83 because in 1983 they left Newark, New Jersey on the hour, every hour. Guess to where? Miami. Here's the beauty of it. From 8 in the morning to midnight, it was $69. And from midnight to 8 in the morning, it was like $29.
Wow.
So that meant me, you, and Lee could be at a fucking bar. When People's Express was launched April of 98, right? April of 81. What'd I tell you? I was killing them. There you go. Look at that. May of 1983, People's Express began flights nonstop, Newark to London, Brand, Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Mount. Those weren't the ones I was killing them on. Yeah, then they died. They fucking went under. When did they go under?
Let's see here.
Well, they were still up in 86.
I think 86 maybe.
Yeah, that's when I sank their ship.
Oh, she's 87.
Yeah, who the fuck do you think you're dealing with?
Oh my god.
I used to kill these motherfuckers up to 85. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You're how much older are you than I am?
Kill them. In 85, I was 22 years old.
Okay.
And I was living in North Bergen from February of 83 to January of 85. I lived in North Bergen, and since I was Cuban, and I knew people in Miami and I had relatives down there, I became Johnny on the spot for a lot of people, and I would never come back with their money.
I was 17 in 85.
Right.
I was
This
17.
shit was going off. This shit was on fire. So now you and I could be snorting coke, right? Like I would bump into you at 8 o'clock on a Friday night after Miami Vice, right? Don't even worry about that. I would hook up with you on a Friday about 10:30 after Miami Vice. We'd go have a few drinks. We'd pick up a package at the bar. And all of a sudden we get the chit-chat and one thing leads to another. You're like, you know what? I got this fucking Cuban girl I'm dating in Miami. I really like to go see her. Can you get a package in Miami, Martine? Fuck yeah, her brother's a dealer. Last time I went down there, he gave me an ounce of $55.25. Well, what the fuck are we doing here? We would just get in the car and drive to Newark Airport. No luggage. That's the type of savage I was then. No luggage. We'll worry about luggage when we get there. We'd get to People's Express, wait half hour, boom. If you didn't get on this flight, you got on the next one. But it didn't matter because we had an 8-ball of coke. We're snorting coke. We're at the bar, dog. We're having a good time no matter what. You'd get to that bar, all those people at that bar were also snorting coke. And they were also waiting to go to Miami to do the same shit we were doing. Martin, it was surreal. Never did I see a cop back there, people going to the bathroom. It was like everybody on that plane was coked up.
I mean, shit was blowing up back then,
And
right?
so, and out of Miami, they were 1 an hour too. But out of Miami, they were bulldogs. In those days, by 83 in Miami, by 84, you couldn't fly out of Miami already. They had it locked down. They would pull you over for no reason. I think I dumped coke one time in Miami. I dumped 20 ounces one time. And then went back like an hour later and took it out of the fucking garbage.
But shit hit the fan in Miami, didn't it? Wasn't like shit getting blown up and explosions here and there and people getting blasted.
I don't remember. At that time, everybody was trying to become a millionaire. Everybody knew that an ounce of cocaine in New York was $1,800. But if you flew down to Miami, you get that same cocaine for $800. There's not a fucking human being that's not doing math in their head. And guess what? 60% of those people got robbed at gunpoint.
Wow.
20% of those people got sold shit.
How are you going to get it back up to New York, though? Just fly with it?
Go right, but you got to figure out a mule. You got to get a mule in those days. You got to put a guy on the train with a guy behind him and another guy behind him.
Oh.
You know, and that was...
I think I'd pay $1,000 to have
I
it
had
brought
me
to
and a buddy figured out how to go on a plane with 4 ounces. I could take, you know, because in those days I was getting them in a fucking jewelry box. So the guy would prepackage them in a jewelry box. So I'd put them in my luggage and hide them really good. That shit gets scary. I like traveling with the coke on me so I could watch that fucking motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You're responsible for that thing. You got to travel with it. I don't know how many fucking times I traveled with blow on me, and on the plane I couldn't resist it, dog. I'd start snorting on that plane, and then I'd land and I'd be fucking hammered. But in those days, like I'm telling you guys, 60% of that plane was drunk.
I can imagine this being an episode of Locked Up Abroad.
They don't. No.
No, seriously. Like
this is
like I can
well,
picture that
listen,
shit.
Listen, let me explain something
Yeah,
to you.
domestically.
You know, everybody wants you to feel bad for these people that get arrested in these other countries and try to be cute. I have zero fucking sympathy for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I tell people all the time, bro, before you go there, ponte la pila. Ponte la pila. Because you're on track. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what they do. What you get smacked in the wrist here for could be over there, could be murder.
You're not going on any tours to North Korea?
Yeah. No. I mind my business. Listen, I don't have a passport, but in reality, I maybe don't want one. You ever think of that?
Oh, no, it gets
Maybe
crazy.
I'm
You got to
wrong.
behave. You got to behave
You gotta
and follow
behave.
the rules.
You don't know
gotta
where the fuck you're
no,
going.
You can't pull that. I'm an American.
Ari was
shit.
scaring the shit out of me. When Ari said he was going to all those countries, bro, I got to tell you something. For the first 2 weeks, I really worried about him. Because I know he's crazy. He'll take his shirt off somewhere. You know, he's a white dude. You can tell he's Jewish. I don't remember if he had a mohawk or not at the time. You know, he's in Cambodia. That scares the shit out of a guy like that. That petrifies a dude like me, dog.
What's scary about Cambo? I mean,
Look at this fucking white kid that went to fucking Korea, North Korea, which he should have been shot and hung, and his parents should have bitch slapped him. I believe if your kid comes home with some stupid idea, you should grab him by the neck and go, listen, before you get
You're talking about the reporter that
the white kid that just died.
Yeah,
he just died. They sent
just
him back
released him.
retarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent
he
him
was
back
already
home to
done.
die.
Yeah.
Like they shot him with like fucking benzo or something to keep him alive for 24 fucking hours just to get him here. When he got off the plane, you could tell there was something wrong with him.
he was in a coma for like a year.
He was in a coma. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fucked up. Boy, let's see.
Now, what did he do to piss them
Something
off?
was
He
off.
ripped a poster off a wall.
He ripped off. He wanted the poster as a souvenir or
gotta be
something.
cute. No,
That's not what
you
it
know
was.
I'm saying?
Or was he
Mind your
protesting?
listen, mind your
No. Well, who knows? But
I don't know
maybe.
what the reason was for
Listen,
taking down the
listen.
poster.
Whatever
Or just
it
don't
was.
touch the fucking poster.
Yeah, listen, mind your business. Go to Puerto Rico. Mind your business. Go to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. We got about those people in North
Jesus.
Korea.
I want to go to Cuba, bro.
No, go to Cuba. I don't
wanna
blame
go to
you.
Cuba.
Don't fuck around, though. Don't fuck around. Why fuck around down there, smoke weed? Any of that shit I would not do. That's why I
No.
couldn't go to Cuba for 10 days. Because there's no way I'm going to give up weed for 10 days.
There's no weed over there.
There's weed over there.
There's weed everywhere.
There's weed everywhere.
But
Especially now. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, is it like, are the laws like super crazy? I don't know what it is.
I have no fucking idea, but I know there's weed there. It's not fucking Sunset Herbal. You know what I'm saying? It's not fucking Sunset Herbal.
Thank God they have B strain. That's
What's I want to be around? Yeah, it's not Sunset Herbal.
It's still that
They
Che
got
Guevara
some weed.
special.
Yeah, they got some weed that looks like weed that they grow on the island. They try their best, like they do everything. You see, what they do with cars.
They're still reviving 57s out there, aren't
Fuck
they?
yeah. Little Tony Bennett for you motherfuckers here. To let you know we're still in the game, cocksuckers.
I wanna be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart. Somebody twice as smart as I. a somebody who will swear to be true
2250.
as you used to do.
Who cares?
with
That's
I
nothing.
do.
You're such a fucking malouk, you know?
You're a
who
Malou.
leave
trying to
you
take you to the
to
river.
learn
I'm trying to give you a fucking education.
misery loves company.
You just go backwards after 2 days.
Misery loves
Wait
company.
and see. I
You'll be crying.
mean,
You'll
I
see.
wanna be around to see how he
Cocksucker, cut
does
that
it.
shit, cocksucker. It's funny because you and I were very fortunate in our careers. We had a very good mentor. You know, having a good mentor with what you have going on, and then you see how other people act at that level. It's funny, somebody was telling me today they don't like how the Comedy Store is booked anymore because Mitzi would book it, older guys, and then a lot of younger guys, and then, you know, and Mitzi wanted the younger guys to learn from the older guys. Well, you're not going to really learn from somebody when you work with them at the Comedy Store. You're going to learn tricks and whatever, those type of tricks, but you're really not going to learn how to be a comedian. You and I learned from two great comics we worked with, and we opened up for them all those years, you know what I'm saying? And as everything moves forward in life, good comics like yourself and myself, we just naturally branch out. You know what I'm saying? Are you that fucking stoned? Why are you looking at me like
No, because I
You're looking at- you're
you seriously, like, you're somebody that I respect
Right
your
now, you know what I'm
opinion.
thinking? Right now,
I
I'm thinking
respect
about that scene in Man on Fire,
Uh-huh.
where he's got the Mexican dude with the glasses in the car, and he's about to cut his fingers
That's
off.
fucking funny.
That's how you were looking
That's
at me
fucking
right now.
funny, man. I'm
He even
fire.
has his
No
hand.
sé,
funny.
no sé, te digo que no
That's so
sé.
fucking funny,
No
man.
sé,
No, I'm
niña.
listening to you talking, and
So,
I'm like, and
it's
I'm
really funny
I'm
how,
really in
You know, you
you know.
learned, you worked with Gabe, I don't know, the last couple of years, 10 years. I worked with Joe for fucking 10 years on the road. You know, how many weekends here and there. And you learn the character of a comic. You learn the evolution of a comic. You learn how the first year everybody's jumping up and down and everybody's drinking, and now it gets a little calmer, but it's crazier in another department, you know what I'm saying? And how tours change, because there's never really a tour. It was an endless tour.
Yeah, it was the
was an
never-ending
endless
tour.
fucking tour,
The
wasn't it?
name would change, but it was
Yeah,
a,
it was
it
just-
was like a 20-year journey. Like, I mean, not quite 20, but I mean, Gabriel, he just celebrated
20 years.
yeah, dude, 20 years of his career, and a lot of it was spent, you know, I was fortunate enough to see a big portion of it, you know, from a very early phase. You know, I mean, he blew up in front of us, really. You know, we saw him go to another level from, you know, 0 to a billion.
The Bicycle Club on Tuesday nights, $35. You got to pick it up on Friday between 4 and 6. That's when I want to go to the fucking 710 between 4 and 6 on a Friday. Those cocksuckers. So it was crazy that we got to see the hotels, how they changed.
Yeah.
How it went from plane to buses to your own personal bus to maybe a private jet to maybe, you know, from it wasn't Delaware no more, Philadelphia. Now you're going to fucking Europe and
Yeah.
Germany.
No, seriously, it went from Southwest Airlines to fucking private jets.
Private jets.
Yeah,
you know.
and sometimes not even Southwest Airlines. Sometimes driving in a car, you know, 4 people deep. If it's to Arizona or fucking,
That's right.
you know, or to
That's right.
you know, Bakersfield, San Francisco,
San
Sacramento,
Jose. Yeah,
San
yeah.
Jose.
You guys always took like a van. Or
Yeah,
something
we
like
took,
that.
we drove. We it wasn't always private planes.
And in retrospect, I look at it,
Yeah,
and it was very much Kennison-ish, without even seeming Kennison-ish. You guys were all good friends. Nobody was really going off the deep end with cocaine or you know, shooting heroin with hookers or missing radio. Everybody's very professional.
it was magic.
But it was a different type
fucking
of magic.
It was
really
a different type of magic. Absolutely.
I got to see it a few times,
Yeah,
and I could feel the love in the room, you know.
yeah.
After the fucking thing, Gabriel would go eat, and 30 people, you know what I'm saying, everybody's eating like a fucking king. and people asked him for pictures. I mean,
it's a surreal world.
It really was. It really was.
To be a part of that world and taste it, you know, and at whatever level it is, you know, there's people that have come in and, you know, done that Gabriel's brought out on the road for certain gigs that see the magnitude, because people, unless you see it, it's really hard to know.
Hard.
You can't describe it without sounding kind of like almost like you're boasting or bragging or something. But it's like, I've seen people like look at like I've seen families that'll say things like, you know, we just buried our such and such relative who was a huge fan, and we actually had his picture of you. It was like a shrine to him that they buried this man with, you know. And then they all like, and then they go to this place to eat out in the middle of Texas, and in San Antonio, I think we were, and they run into Gabe right after, like legit. They're there for dinner after they just buried this kid, you know, and they see Gabe, and it might have been it was almost like if, you know, like if Jesus would have walked in back in the day. The way these people were looking at them. You also got
to see how a really good comic acts.
Yeah.
How a really good comic, just the composure. You know, I got to learn a lot from Joe Rogan, guys. A lot on the road opening for him. You know, I added some things. I would say, listen, why are we doing this? Why are we leaving at 1 and rocking the whole day? Let's put this together at 8 and get the fuck out of here early. You know, like, I would add some stuff and it all worked. And today, that's what the system I use today. I use the same fucking system every week. I was never a Gabriel's guy. I really like traveling alone most of the time, to be honest with you. I think it's a big responsibility. I like what Gabriel was doing.
Yeah.
But it was weird because nobody was looking at it. I saw you guys somewhere. I think it was in Irvine with Felicia. And I go, you know what nobody has mentioned about this? That this has a Kennison vibe to it. Like Gabriel would do, you know, it would take you 40 minutes till you got to see Gabriel. And there was 4 guys doing 10 minutes apiece, 4 of them with different fucking views. It was interesting, you know. And then somebody was talking to me, somebody from the church recently about not maybe in Utah. Mm-hmm. They asked me if I had seen Gabriel's movie, or they went to see Gabriel, and he had a halftime during his show.
Yeah.
Like
intermission. There was an intermission.
And he goes, it was fucking amazing. It was just...
it was an event. It is an event. It still is an event. I mean, I shouldn't say it was an event. It still is an event.
So you get to learn a lot.
Yeah, you see, it becomes, you know, I mean, when you went to one of the concerts, it was that. It was a concert.
It was really a fucking...
It wasn't a stand-up show. It was a legit concert.
Well, you go home and you scratch your head. You're like, I got to reevaluate what the fuck I'm doing, because that was magical.
It was magical.
It was magical.
And I've said,
really
those are the words that I've used to describe it to Gabriel.
But
I go, we've seen a lot of magic, a lot of magical fucking moments.
But the beauty of it is, bro, that one day you say, you know what? I don't even want what Gabriel has. I don't even want what Joe Rogan has.
It's a lot of responsibility.
I just want to go out and do my own thing. I've been in this town long enough. I want a headline. I got the chops. I've got the credits. And that's what you're doing right now. You're in the process of, you were telling me you're doing like an unspoken fucking...
Oh, it's fucking crazy, man.
Now, let me just add to this. Because this, to me, is one of the most... I think one time you were on the podcast and I touched on it. But if I have to go through the top 10 nights I've had in my 20 years in Los Angeles, you know, when we first get into comedy, we were very fortunate. Nobody calls me for those anymore. Not that I'd want to do them, because you're busy, you're doing the podcast.
Sure.
But there was a time where you would get, your phone would ring every fucking day, that somebody would have a bar and somewhere, and they were doing comedy that night, and you would get $30 and a meal.
Yeah.
Jesus, $30 and a meal.
And a couple of drink tickets.
Let me ask you something. Can you get me out of there by 9:45? Because I got to be at the Comedy Store by 10:30. Tell me the truth or don't bullshit me, dog. Is there a Dodger game? Fucking tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because I got other spots. And it was... And you went down there and you got to see different comics. And I don't have that in my life no more. Like, that's gone. But there was a time with Marilyn, that Marilyn would call me twice a week. Marilyn was the king of the hustle. Say whatever you want about Marilyn. God rest her soul. She would call me and go, Joey, Martin Moreno's booking a room and whatever. He wants to know if you'll take $50 for 20 minutes. And I'm like, Dave will drive. I'm like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Those are the fun fucking days. God rest his soul.
God.
It's going to be our anniversary, 10 years.
Can I tell you that you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of fucking people. And, out of a lot of people that I know, no one reaches out as consistently to say, hey, how are you? I fucking love you. Like, because we don't hang out all the time.
No.
We don't hang out all the time. We see each other rarely, but you check in and you actually genuinely, you always have since I met you. You've never stopped checking and saying, hey, I'm just checking to see how you're doing.
There's not too many genuine people you meet.
But Marilyn would do the same thing.
Yeah, you have to check in. This is what family does.
Dude, and it was.
This is what it's all about. Like, this is part of it.
I always felt
people
like, holy fuck, you guys are...
What a real deal.
Real motherfucker. Yeah.
But it's funny, I go to this fucking bar. I had met you maybe twice or 3 times before this. And we're doing the show. I'm up last. I think Marilyn's up before me. You're on stage, and all of a sudden, there's a commotion. I don't know what the fuck it is. And I go, Marilyn, what's going on? She goes, oh my God, Martina's going outside to fight this guy. I go, what are you talking about? He was just on stage.
What the fuck?
And he goes, he's going outside because I guess he said something about the president, the guy's a soldier.
Oh, shit.
Or something fucking crazy, and they got into politics. Then like 10 minutes later, it was the next comic. You were hosting. You went up there, your shirt was torn a little bit. He had a couple smacks in his mouth. And you went back on stage and did the comedy. And now you were friends. Like you bought him a shot. Something weird had happened, Martina.
It was just a fucking, like, you reason with somebody. When you just like tell somebody, like, when you get to that point where you can't just fucking like, look, you fuck. It doesn't get more basic than this. When you take it to that level with somebody. No,
but you went outside. You came back in like a gentleman. You brought me up on stage, and I always admired that. Like I went up there, I go, did you guys just know he just got into a fist fight, ladies and gentlemen? Like this is how fucking crazy this is right now. Was it Alhambra?
That was Rick Ramos's room in Alhambra.
Real cute bar.
Yeah, it was Rick Ramos's room in Alhambra.
This had to be. Marilyn's dead 10 years this November.
Wow.
So this had to be, what, 15 years ago?
Wow.
15 years ago, we put it at 2002.
Fuck.
Yes. That's when I fell in love with you. When you went, you threw a couple punches. You came back looking like a gentleman. When I left, you guys were having a beer. Everybody was happy. Somebody was missing a tooth. But it didn't matter. It all happened for the namesake of comedy. But now, you're out there. And I see your little fucking Facebook videos, and you're at a Mexican restaurant in the hood in Chicago, and I admire that. You're out there. You're getting the opportunity to do this, until Fluffy starts his next tour. And whatever. It feels great for you. I'm happy you're doing this. You have a website and shit?
Yeah.
It has your dates?
What's that?
You have a website which has all your dates?
Yeah. Actually, my dates are on Eventbrite right now.
Eventbrite?
Yep.
And
Martin Moreno.
And and what gigs do you have coming up?
Shit, bro. This fucking...
Drop them on me.
Right now, this Friday the 7th, Magicopolis is a freaking theater in Santa Monica, dog. Right around the corner from the Promenade.
Okay.
It's this pretty cool ass theater. They do they do magic and shit, but fucking it's fucking sick, bro. It's perfect for what the fuck I'm doing.
You want another star, though?
Joey must have been there for all those magic shows.
Dude. Listen, let me tell you something.
Do you want another star?
Do I want another star?
Yeah.
You know what? There's no way in fuck. Like when you call yourself a savage, there's a lot of people that say fucking savage and they just throw that shit out there. You motherfuckers are savages.
Lee, you want to eat two
No,
more?
fuck that. Like there's
go.
no way
It's the 4th of July,
I could ever
bitch.
try to keep up with
Lee,
you guys.
put on the national anthem. It's fucking the 4th of July, right?
I'm in here trying to fucking focus. Like
what fucking focus? You got
no,
nowhere to go.
Fucking, no, I don't.
You got firecrackers?
Listen, you fuck.
You got firecrackers? No, you don't even have firecrackers. You're not gonna eat 2 fucking stars. Look at this. We got a bag full of fucking. We'll finish this out, Lee.
No, we're not.
Yes, we do. This is what we're gonna do. Me and you, like fucking gentlemen. We'll finish out what's in this bag.
No.
Let's do what we'll do. Come here. No, don't tell me fucking no. Just so help me God, I'll tie you up and I'll leave you in here for 3 days.
How much is this one?
How much is not for you? I'll never give you 200 milligrams.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're gonna eat a half of 125.
What are we doing?
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not. No, we had
Not you.
2250 already.
Well, listen.
Well, how many more can we have?
Your high was. What was your high? Your high was
3,000. That's enough.
Okay, so.
Wait, so that would only put me at 3%. No.
Yeah. So what percent is that, Lee? Hold on, let me figure it out, man.
Okay.
So
I'll do one more red star. How about that?
There's no. Listen. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a red star and a purple
But
star?
can I just do one more?
One more red, and one more purple, and you're out of the game.
Promise?
There's only a couple in here. Yeah. Listen, there's 4. Let's do 2 apiece.
No, see already.
And
guys, you see what happens. This is like the guy
But
on
look
at
at this.
the fair.
But look at this.
Wow.
Look.
Like,
Look. We're done for the week.
no, we're not. We have plenty more stars.
Who look, bro, would I lie to you?
What are you talking about? You're
These are
surrounded by millions of stars.
These are 125s. This is for a different mission we're using. You know we can't. We have to eat 22 125 just to get the party started.
Dude, you guys are like Rick and Morty, bro.
Look at this. We got 2 little stars here. Then you're gonna see animals at the fucking at the whatever.
At the zoo?
No, the other place. When you
At
go
the pet
rescue
store?
people.
The pound?
Yeah, you
The
go to
pound,
pound.
So yeah.
Take a look at these little stars.
Oh shit.
They're just looking at you. Look at
Sarah
their,
McLaughlin's gonna do a
look at their eyeballs. Look
commercial
at their
with these
eyeballs.
stars.
They started with like 20 friends,
Oh, look at
and they
that.
all got picked.
You're gonna walk by these little fucking. Look how they're looking at you. They're crying.
I'll do one, dude.
Where else are you
What's-
going? Please. You're not gonna eat 2 of them. Those 2 came together. You know how we do it here.
No,
What's 2? Well, 4 and 2250 is what?
I don't want to do 2650, dude. That's crazy.
What would you do?
2450.
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Go to town.
What are you doing?
I want to watch you, cocksucker. I don't trust you.
What do you mean you don't trust me?
No, I don't trust. Put the national anthem.
Tom, you want it?
Wow.
Let's go. What's the problem here?
Listen, this last. Oh,
There you
shit.
go. There you go. Oh shit! It's time, cocksuckers. It's over. It's over. Lee, eat that last fucking star like this, like a soldier.
That's it. Do you understand that my 125's just kicking in hard as fuck? That shit came in like a like a fucking wave.
Let me tell you something. That 200, that's from the bottom of the bag. It's filled. Turn that off. Turn that off. That's not the one I'm looking
There's
for.
no way I could keep up with you fuckers. There's no way I could even dream of
my
it.
brother.
Ever.
I don't want anybody to ever come on this show
Uh-huh.
and think for 1 second
Yeah.
that they have to keep up with what
Okay,
we're doing.
good,
We just
good,
want you
good,
to come on the show,
Good.
have a good time, get stoned to the
All right,
gills,
all
get some water, and that's it. Do a bong to the 2, maybe
Hey,
talk
man.
about music. And how long have you been an Iron Maiden fan for?
Oh my god, bro! Since I was in freaking high school, and I let me tell
But you
something.
came out for 666, The Power of the Beast.
Oh, I was already in.
You were already in, or the one before that? Run to the Hills.
Fuck.
First Bruce Dixon album was with them was Run to the Hills, right? The video with the Indians and shit.
That's when they played with Saxon at the fucking Long Beach Arena.
What's the matter, Lee?
Is that when that show was? Because if that's when it was, then it's gotta be when
I
they.
don't know.
No. Yeah, but yeah, that's.
I
it.
don't know when Paul
No,
Diano
no.
left Iron Maiden. By that time,
Yeah.
I had
Did
moved
he
on.
leave or did Dickinson take it away from him?
I don't know, Papa.
I think with the
At that time, you gotta
yeah.
remember, there was a different time.
Yeah.
At that time, we had Cream magazine
Yeah,
and something else.
I saw your circus magazine right there, which
Circus.
is fucking badass.
Somebody-
Hip Parader.
I was part of the church family.
Yeah.
Founded at a fucking. That's what we had.
Yeah.
Today you have the internet.
Yeah.
You go on Reddit and find like a chat room, and somebody will tell you what really happened. This is what I heard. I work at the music store, and where he comes in to buy guitars, and he left the band. He's starting his new fucking band. Now, you got all this info available to you. When I was a kid, I had no info available to you.
Right.
Somebody leaves a band. Somebody leaves a band. Why? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck wanted to interview Black Sabbath? You think Barbara Walters wanted to have Black Sabbath on?
Nah, dude. Like
in
I got
75?
I got introduced to metal in the early '80s in high school, and before that, all I knew was like top 40 and my mom's fucking Spanish music. So metal was like a fucking like a culture. So like I started getting it in small dosages, and before I knew it, I was just like fucking. This is the shit that I like. I enjoy
But
listening
you know
to
what kills
this
me
shit.
about you? Don't like you're full fucking metal. Like you're a Mexican dude that's very clean.
But there's a lot of Mexican
and
metal guys.
Oh my God, tell
There's
me
a
about it.
lot of Mexican metal guys.
And they're fucking into it. They get the
Yeah.
shirts. They're ready
Yeah.
to fucking go.
Yeah.
They love that shit.
And they
Yeah.
don't care as long as it's a band that they remember that reminds them of a time when everything was fucking just like, you know what? Yeah, this was cool. I want more of this.
How many people were at the show?
Oh, there had to have been close to 30,000.
How much were the tickets?
Fuck. I think like fucking. I have no idea, to be honest. I was invited. A friend of mine hit me up. Freaking Richard Hayes, bro. This guy, he's the dude I get furniture from. This guy hooks me up with fucking furniture. He doesn't hook me up with furniture, but like when I want shit, like he made me an orange fucking couch, bro. A giant orange couch. Like the vibe you have in here, I fucking love it. This is like semi what my
Is that what you-
my-
is that what
this
you
is what my
wanted?
home looks like. This is awesome. Like I like this vibe. I like the feeling of this.
You like orange couches?
I love them.
What kind of material is it?
It's fucking like just like a regular couch, like a big old futon with not futon, like a big old couch, like a sectional with fucking the ottomans and shit.
Okay.
But it's like a giant big orange one, and that's
You
what I
always
want.
know that if you don't feel good, that couch is yours.
Nice.
You can lay on the couch.
Yeah,
You can
no. Fucking look
It's
at that.
clean. Nobody's
Yeah.
ever had sex on it.
All right.
Lee's the only one that possibly could have farted on it. But besides that, no. That
Oh,
couch
I've definitely farted on
is,
it.
that couch is a virgin. That couch
Wow.
is a great couch.
Well, thank you. That's
know-
very generous of you. I appreciate that.
This would be a nice spot if you were a single guy and you could flip it and keep your shit low.
Yeah.
Not bring no. This is a nice. I remember being a kid and thinking I can't wait to be older.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like a shitty apartment and live
Yeah.
like Charles Bronson in
Yeah.
Death Wish. Not even Death Wish. There was a movie, in Death Wish he had an apartment, and that's where he stored his guns and his suits and shit that he would kill people in. And I always wanted that same little apartment like that. I can't wait to live like Charles Bronson. I think about that shit now. Dying alone, fuck you. Nobody wants to die alone. You gotta get a girlfriend, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that dying alone shit. That was great in the 70s. That shit don't work for Uncle Joey no more.
Yeah. No, you shit. You're a family man.
It's
You're a
hard to
family
even
man.
believe.
You are a
Last week,
family man, Joey.
we went to San Francisco for a few days
Mm-hmm.
to hook up with her godfather and my godfather's daughter, who they love each other. I mean, they've known each other for like 2 years since Mercy was a baby. Mercy calls her big sister.
Mm-hmm.
She calls her little sister in California. Dog, do you think I wanted to fucking go to San Francisco and walk around Fisherman's Wharf? Every time I think about Fisherman's Wharf, I think about 1985. I had two hot spots for traveler's checks in those days. Okay, I had Japanese Town and Fisherman's Wharf. If you went into any of those stores on Fisherman's Wharf when they're fucking flabbergasted, they're not gonna really ask you for ID. And if you use your credit card and it's under $50, they're not really gonna ask you for ID. They're not even gonna call. They're not even gonna run it. They're gonna put it in that machine and go chick chick chick. So I would alternate between the both of them.
that day. Those days.
Yes, those days.
Fucking A.
So let's pretend you came to me on this line. So
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
come here for a second. There's a lady over there. And this is how it was. This is how it was, bro. There's a lady over there. She'll take your car and she'll sell you whatever. You gotta cut her in on 30%. Okay? And you go over there and get 10 fucking lamps. She wouldn't give a fuck. But then you had to sell. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whatever you clipped in those days, you had to be able to sell. Look at this poor bastard. Did you eat another Star?
No, I ate that one, but my water got fucked up. Ugh.
So those were my two spots
Wait,
because it was high volume.
if they ever asked for your ID, would you just say, I forgot
It's
it?
in my rental car. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Let me see if I can see my wife. Let me get that back. Pew. I wouldn't go in there dressed like Joe Bum. I would go in there dressed like Don Johnson in that thing. I used to have a white shirt. I would have a gold chain. My hair would be combed. I would have a jacket. I'd have shoes and a pair of pants. And sometimes I'd have a briefcase. That's how deep my Jimmy went. But on those, some days I'd just go, I'd have $10,000 in traveler's checks. And I got to make a living. I got $10 in my pocket. So I would go into a place, spend 80, give them 100, and they would give me like change back or whatever the fuck it is. I would spend like 60, and they would give them two $50 traveler's checks, and they give me 40 back. You know, shit like that. You just maneuvered it like you knew how to. I forget all the math in those days, how to get the most for your money. Again, there'd be people that come to you and say, look, she'll cash 10 of those things, but she wants 3 of them for her.
And then could you return that stuff later for cash?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So you had to have, so I had to come to you. Like, let's say there was somebody who made pictures, and you wanted those pictures for your bar, and they were $500 new. I would go over there and get you the pictures, sell it to you for $2. I don't give a fuck. I have no fucking cost. My cost is 0. If I go over there and get you 3 of those pictures, what do I make? Like, I make $6. That's a deal to a guy like you, because they were going to cost you $500. I should really be charging you $250, but I like you, cocksucker. Just give me 2 and I'll get you 3 of these.
Fuck yeah.
So I would go to Fisherman's Wharf in those days and just cash in fucking credit cards, cash in traveler's checks.
And now you're walking around.
It was crazy because I never went back there again.
Oh, shit.
I left there in 85. The cops were looking for me, and that was the end of that. Nothing was ever heard about San Francisco again. I left some jewelry pawned in a pawn shop, and my ex-wife flew back one day, a one-day trip from Denver. Nobody knew. She left at 6 in the morning. She was back at like 3 in the afternoon. And she went and got all our jewelry and shit out of pawn, out of hock. But that was it. I never went back to San Francisco. And then, like in 2000, I did Cobb's with Rogan. And and that's when we used to do Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday he did radio. And I found the cab, and I took a cab to the Tenderloin. I hadn't been to Tenderloin, dog, and fucking, just the cops were looking for me. And I fucking had them drop me off, and I walked around those streets, and I remember seeing a cafe, and I went in there and had breakfast. And while I was eating, all the memories of me walking those streets. I mean,
Wow.
I was a fucking kid, bro. I was 21. I thought I was the king of the world at that time. I thought I had all the answers. I was pretty street smart, I will tell you that. By the time I got to San Francisco, I was fucking tremendous. I knew credit cards, I knew street, I knew drug, I knew everything. I knew weapons by the time I got to San Francisco. I knew a little bit about weapons. So I was telling somebody I was a bodyguard for un bugarrón for this dude I ended up robbing in San Francisco. I mean, you're looking at me right now, the comedian, Joe Diaz, your buddy of 15 years. And I'm telling you that when I was 21, maybe 22, I was a bodyguard. My mother would always tell me about bugarrón. Oye, búscate un bugarrón que te meta la pinga en el culo. My mother would always say that to different customers and shit like that. A bugarrón was a dude who went to prison in Cuba that wasn't gay, but he would fuck gay guys and let them suck his dick. He wouldn't suck their dick.
So there was a name for that.
Bugarrón.
Bugarrón.
This guy was a bugarrón drug dealer. He had a wife and a kid.
What would they say if you called them gay?
He would knock you the fuck out.
Because he wasn't gay.
Not by no means. He was macho. He was like the most interesting man in the world. and he would walk into the room with these two guys that were dressed up as women. With like mustaches, like a shadow, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a wig and made up and purses. Like, these guys weren't gendered. They didn't do the operation. They still had dicks and shit.
They just
you could
dressed
tell.
apart, yeah.
They just were women that were prison hoes. They were gay men that went to Cuban prisons or prisons here, and they were hot. They got them, bro. If you saw them, unless you look closely at them.
Wait.
Hey, sometimes you don't know. Fuck it.
They came out of prison and were like, well,
So
I like
sometimes
this
you,
identity.
listen,
So
sometimes you go to prison gay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I get.
So Joey Diaz finds out.
Okay.
You're his cellmate. Joey Diaz finds out you're gay. And one night, after about a month, he wakes you up in the middle of the night and he goes, hey, Lee, do me a favor. Suck my dick. I can't. Same thing as anything else in life. You gotta work it the same way. You know what I'm saying? You start sucking my dick, I start fucking you in the ass. I mean, it's just craziness.
It's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
But listen.
But all of a sudden, after 3 months, I go, Lee, you know what? I've been looking at you. You once told me you felt like a woman, correct? Yes, I do. All right, do me a favor.
Thank you for using my name, by the way. It's awesome.
Tomorrow, I want you to order a wig. I want you to take those prison pants and cut them into hot pants and tighten more around your ass. I want you to get a bra and fill them up so you look like you have titties, dog.
Oh, it'd be sexy.
It's full blast. You have no idea. These
These
two were full blast, hotter than shit. But at night, he would go home back to his family.
Thank goodness.
But in the daytime, they worked as like not really bodyguards, but they stood next to him. They passed the drugs along to people. If you owed them money, you gave them the money. You know, big Cuban production. You know what I'm saying? Big, I'm a gangster production. Slinging fucking $30 bags at a fucking...
Doesn't sound like they tried to hide it at all.
No. Slinging $30 bags on the Tenderloin from fucking 11 to 8 o'clock at night. Like any other mo.
Like a respectable business.
But
but like I said, it's so natural. Like,
but no, one day I'm friends with this kid Bambusi, who I used to hustle with, Cuban kid. And one day he goes, dog, tomorrow I gotta do something. Are you busy? And I go, no. And he goes, do you have a gun? I go, yeah. He goes, can you bodyguard this guy tomorrow? He goes, a piece of cake is $300, and you stand in the corner and you make sure nothing fucking happens to him. That's it. He'll pay you $300 at the end of the day.
Fuck that.
I'm a young fucking kid, dog.
$300 for your life?
There was no life.
What do you mean there was no life?
I got a gun. I got extra bullets. I got a clip.
and you're invincible.
And I'm invincible in my mind. I'm 22.
Fuck yeah.
I got no family. I got no mother. My mother's dead. What do I give a fuck?
No, fuck it.
I'll be his fucking bodyguard. The first day, my mother would always say that word to me. Tú eres un bugarrón, que pinga te pasa, all these things. And then that first day, it all comes to me. I get there, I introduce myself. He says, sí, yo te he visto por aquí. I've seen you in the neighborhood. About an hour later, fucking the Supremes come down. They're both Cuban chicks. They're guys, but they're dressed up as women.
The Supremes.
They come out, and they're hanging out like Farrah Fawcett and the fucking Charlie's Angels, -1, right? Like, they're really women, dog. Like, they're pushing it, and guys are walking by, and they look at them, and every once in a while, he would go, what the fuck are you looking at? To like the women, what are you looking at him for?
The fuck?
Te meto un galletazo, ¿sabes? Aquí mismo. And the gay guy would squint off. Te meto un galletazo means I'll smack you. I swear to God. And the gay guy would, and then the next night, he said to that night, he goes, listen, can you do it again tomorrow? Even if Bambusi comes, I want extra help around here. We're getting too many cops. I want you to keep your eyes open. I go, sure. I came back the next day. The next day was completely different. Same thing. He came out. They come out like an hour later after they're made out. He sleeps somewhere else. They hold the coke for him upstairs. They probably had another stash apartment at the time. But they also had a hotel room in the Hilton up the corner from the Tenderloin there, which is still there. I'm not sure if it's still a Hilton. It's across from the hostel there. I don't know what's the name of that O'Farrell maybe. It's wherever San Francisco hostel is, right across the street from their caddy corner. There's a Hilton there, so he would get a room there. He would have a room with the two gay guys on the Tenderloin, and probably one of the gay guys had another apartment. So it was two guys, but they live in one, and they'd have a stash room in one apartment. This guy was bringing the coke in from Miami. And when he would come in, everybody would hop for him, and he would sling his product on the Tenderloin. There was 2 blocks there where he just slung product. Some people came for 20s, some people came for 60s, some people came for half a kilo. And it was right upstairs, and they would go up and get the batch. When he wanted something that was big that he didn't have close by to him, he would hide shit in a bumper. Like, he would hide his 50s and 20s in bumpers of cars. And when you drove up, the chick would take a 50 out of the bumper and throw it on the floor, and you give him the money, and then he'd fucking hold on to the money. After he had a certain amount, the one gay guy with the wig would run upstairs with the money and then come back down. And that's how it worked. So the second day I'm there, and some guy talks to this fucking, the one skinny gay guy with the wig, right? And the guy really thinks it's a woman. And he's coming on to, this guy is talking to the other thing with the wig and 2 guys. Not even about drugs, they're just talking about Cuban stupidity. And he looks over and he goes, oye, that thing I'm going deep with. That means stop talking to this fucking guy. In other words, I'm on the fucking corner as a lookout. And next thing you know, dog, I don't know what happens. He just turns around and starts punching her. Just punching her. And I mean, he had her hit like 4 times. She went down on the floor. He kicked her in the stomach a few times. That was just life. That was accepted. In that lifestyle. Like, he could beat them, make them suck his dick upstairs, beat them, you know. It was such a thing that I'd kind of heard of, but not really. Like, I'd never even seen something like that at 20 years old, 22. He would beat her right there on the street. And nobody would say, Zocho.
On the street, in public.
On the street, 50 people walking around the Tenderloin. He would smack him with open hand. But I was there for like maybe 2 or 3 other days.
Not to be insensitive, but do you think they would have said something if it was a girl? Or was it that kind of place that they wouldn't say anything anyways? Like, if it was a natural born girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he would hit a woman.
Well, but
I
I'm
think
just
because
saying,
of this situation.
So it was more like a gay bashing type
like
of a thing?
No, this is like a prison thing.
Like a prison thing.
This is how their lifestyle is in prison, these Cuban fucking dudes.
Gotcha.
That's the way it was back in the old country.
Yeah.
And
well, in prison, there's no fucking rules.
No, they bring the tradition back here.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, you fucking... Yeah, prisons are no...
Dog, I was in shock the first time. Then the second time he beat the other one up, he punched her that
crazy.
time.
Oh my
he
God.
kicked her a couple times on the floor. She was bleeding. He told her to go upstairs and clean up.
Why'd you stay?
Don't fucking ever fucking look at me or talk to me like that again. Te parto la vida. That means I'll break your fucking life in half. She went upstairs, came back tip-top Magoo with makeup on like nothing happened.
Wow.
Covered up the black eye. And that's the fucking lifestyle that they could beat him.
Hey, listen. There's a
That's the
website called
benefit.
Christian Domestic Discipline. You know what? This is not... Listen. This is fucking... These dudes are fucking... Dude, I swear to God, these motherfuckers are justifying it with the Bible. They're saying, hey, you fucked up. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Fucking... I decide when you fuck up. But it's like an agreement between them in this freaking... Like, you... Dude, I was fucking Googling spanking, fucking like old school 70s spanking and shit.
Wait, between kids or adults?
No. These are adults, but the dudes are like say you have a wife, right?
Right.
Like, if you're under this freaking like thing, the Bible says that you're the man, you're in charge, you're in control.
Oh, you get to cane
so
them?
if she fucks up, at your discretion, you just say, hey, fucking you fucked up. She goes, she prays, she reflects, and then you come in and punish her with the spanking and shit.
Sure.
Oh no, there's people that, and there's like testimonies on there from these people. You know,
I don't think there's a lot of Mexican women doing this.
What's that?
At least not the kind of...
No. I'm telling you, this is a Christian website. I don't know about who else is in there. I mean, like, and you don't, unless you're faking it that you're a Christian to join them.
No,
but I'm
no,
pretty sure that
Mexican.
they'd be pretty selective.
Well, there's also fucking Christians that come up with a snake.
What's that?
They come up with a fucking snake, and the snake blesses you.
Yeah.
Once a fucking year, snake bites one of those fucking.
Yeah, they hold all this
people,
crazy
listen,
poisonous snakes.
Religion is what you want to fucking believe. Hold on that though. Let me give some shout outs here.
You got it.
Religion is what the fuck you want to believe. If you want to believe that somebody beating you to death is what religion is all about, be my fucking guest.
What are you talking?
Listen, what are you saying?
Who
Gene
wants to get
Castro,
beaten to death?
Gino Castro, Joe Dominguez, Isaiah Saunders, Casimir Boomer. What are you kidding me? Or what? Mickey Miller, Jeep, Jim Nunya, Donnie Voltron from 144th and fucking Lebanon Street. Supton Carpenter. No, Stupin Carpton, Juan Elvia, and my main man, Bill Dolan. That's how we're fucking doing it tonight, cocksuckers. I know we're taking it till the wee hours here. It's always a pleasure to see my little brother. Like I said, I judge people not really on a lot of crazy things. But when you leave the States to get into an argument and a fist fight with somebody, then you come back like nothing happens, I'm in with you. That means you're a real comic and you're a real gentleman. There's something about you I like. And I was always friends with all those guys. You know, I love Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred was there when I almost killed a certain individual. And since that day, he's become my friend. The tour manager,
Oh, sure.
little Ivan, I've always loved him. I mean, these guys, you know, you go back with them for so long, and you watch them grow.
Yeah.
We watched these other grow. I mean, the time you came to me, you said, yeah, you know what we did? Me and Gabriel went, we watched your movie and shit. Bro, I almost cried that day. I got in my car, I was like, Jesus Christ, why would somebody go see a fucking movie I was in? You know what I'm saying? And the one with De Niro.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
know,
anything that you do, anything that you've done, we're big fans of Joey Diaz.
We've grown together.
No, dude, like the respect that, and as a matter of fact,
God.
listen, I just had dinner with Gabriel a couple of days ago, and you know, he said, make sure you. I told him I was coming on, and he said, make sure you give Joey, tell Joey I said what's up, and then I'm thinking about him that I love him.
I always
you know?
hit him up from time to time on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for nothing. I just let him know I'm thinking about you,
Yeah.
dog. That's
and,
it.
And sometimes
that's all you
what
need
it
to say.
takes. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
I want to investigate what the fuck is going on. I'm too old.
Right.
I got enough on my plate. I ain't got time to worry about your fucking problems.
Right.
What's going on with you, my little brother, Syatt? You're a soldier of death. You know me, dog.
Right.
I don't put you nowhere where you don't fucking belong.
Absolutely.
You've been lurking with Uncle Joey for 5 years now.
6.
You're going to be promoted pretty soon.
Sure.
The capo regime. You're going to get new responsibilities. You got to make new moves. You know, you're right there. You've been a fucking soldier. You're never late. You're on time. You know, I can't get you too high because then you come up with stupid ideas, but I got to love you. You got a lot of heart. For every 8 ideas he gives me, he's got one that'll win an Academy Award.
Hey, you
I'm
know
just
what,
too
though?
lazy to pursue him.
That's good, man. That's a thinking guy right there. That's awesome.
Where else are you going on this little tour, man? I'm happy that you're doing this. bro.
So check this out, Joey. I just did a show. It's brand new. I've got musicians with me. Like I'm doing a whole different fucking. I got a drummer and a guitar player. You know how we were listening to Morrison earlier? How sometimes Morrison is just talking and there's music. That's the kind of shit I'm doing right now. Like I'm you know, because once we took this break, like, and I started just meditating and reflecting. And just thinking about so much shit that that's important that I've evolved into, you know, because you think about the man you are today versus the man you were just 10 years ago. I mean, that's night and day, our evolutions, you know. And so once you start looking at shit in a fucking way where, you know, I think I just got to a point, Joey, where everything all of a sudden just like hit a place where fuck it, you know, like I think it's times that like you just gotta like take the blinders off and say fuck it, stop pretending about shit, you know. There's way too much shit that I feel I've been lied to as a human being, you know, and that it's, you know, that there's expectations of what should happen, you know. There's these, like, if you're not married and have kids and buy a fucking house and get in debt, you know, you failed as a human, you know, in a lot of people's fucking eyes. And that's bullshit. There's a lot of people that find themselves in that position and are like, what the fuck? I followed the rules. I did everything I was supposed to fucking do. And why am I not happy? Why do I need fucking Xanax? Why I need this? People aren't honest about what they want and who they like, or what they want, or what they want to do in life. I think we've been brainwashed to follow a formula, Joey.
Well, no. The problem is, Martin, listen, how long does it take to really realize what the fuck do you want to do as a human being?
Oof.
How long?
A lifetime.
Okay, it takes.
It's a constant
That's the
fucking
thrill of
evolution.
This is
yes.
the gift of life.
Yes.
That every day you learn something a little more, you get a little bit more patience,
Yes.
and you fucking find a way to deal with stuff. You know, when you're 22, somebody gives you the finger, you jump out of the car, you throw a bottle at them. When you're 54, you go to Starbucks, you get a flat white. You eat a pot cookie and you fucking go home and mind your business. It all comes through wisdom and shit like this. You know, it just, you know, I get into a lot of conversations about the tours with people.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Joey, we feel you should know. No, I can't. This is what I could do. The third week of me being on the road, I'm going to be faking the funk and people are going to know it. You follow what I'm saying to you? I feel comfortable doing the road 2 weekends a month. That's what I'm good for. Anything after that, I'm just going to be faking the funk. I'm going to be thinking about my family, why I did it. 2 weeks a month is fine for Uncle Joey. You know, you could do what you could do, brother. I'd love to be able to be like Gabriel and go out every week. I can't no more. I just can't do it.
It's
And part of me doesn't want to do it. It's a lot of work.
It's a grind.
It's a lot of sacrifice. And after a certain point, it's the law of diminishing returns, which I'm a very firm believer in. The law of diminishing returns always comes back to collect. So everything is, you can't eat 22 fucking egg salad sandwiches a week, but you can eat 4 of them. Because on those 4 days, you're going to work out. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the same thing. For me on the road, yeah, I'd love to go on the road Thursday through Saturday. Small fucking theaters. It's a lot of Twittering, a lot of Facebooking. I'd have to get a publicist. That's a ton of emails. You know how much I want emails? I don't. Unless you got a bona fide fucking job for me. Once you start asking me creepy questions on email, that's when the relationship goes to sour. That's when it goes
But
to
see,
sour.
it's beautiful that you know exactly
I
what
know
the fuck
exactly.
you want. But what's even more important, Joey, is that you're at an age where you're mature enough to say that. Because, you know, when you're young and you know, let's face it, when Gabe blew up, he was a 20-year-old kid. And then he went fucking full force for the last 20 fucking years. So yeah, that's you're gonna achieve a huge level of success, and he worked his ass off for those 20 fucking years.
I got on stage the first time June of 1991. Until this day, the question that comes to my mind at least once a week is, what made me go down there? What made me pick that fate? And then you gotta remember, I fucked around for 2 years. And then after 2 years, I said, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna do it. I'm going for it. And I went for it. I sat tight in Colorado for 18 months. It was going downhill, and I said, you know what, I gotta go for my dream, man. You know what, at that time, I gotta lie to you, my dream was just to survive. Just to survive, get over this pain from this fucking divorce, and do jokes on stage, and somebody will give me $75 a night. Are you fucking kidding me? And nobody knows nothing. I don't have to pay taxes on this. I'm gonna do dick. I'm just gonna, and I got myself this little Nissan fucking, this, was it a Nissan? A Datsun, Martin Moreno. And I fit everything I had that could be in a car, so I was never bored. And if something ever happened, I was always covered. From a thing of water, to a blanket, to a frisbee, to a football, to a basketball, to a pillow, to an extra blanket, to radiator repair, to a spare tire, to a spare tire, to an air pump. If something was going to happen, I was going to be prepared. I put a fucking pipe across the room So I could use it as a weapon, also as a hanger to hang my clothes, also as a cover if I wanted to sleep in my car in some hotel lot, you know.
You're prepared to survive.
Yeah, no, that's it. I got
That's
in
it.
that car,
Yeah.
and I had this weird dream that I wasn't going to do movies because of my past and who I was, and because of my character at the time, that I would never be too good to do movies, nothing like that. That the only thing I could possibly do was stand up. LA, between you and I, was never in my future plans when I got into comedy. Not by a long shot. I thought I was going to be a ham and egger through life, and I was going to be a ham and egger comic. When he uses that line in Rocky, it kills my soul. Because that's what I thought I was as a comedian, a ham and egger. A ham and egger. We know plenty of ham and eggers. And that's a horrible label to get put at, but it's the truth. That's what you are. You're a ham and egger, dog. You had a show, you relied on it, the show went under, you went under. You never relied on a fan base, you never relied on your people, it just came to you because you were special. It happens. It happened in this career. And from that, it teaches you how to do it again. Most people who fail in this career, for example, and I use them constantly, Tom Rhodes and Margaret Cho. And what's his name? The kid who killed himself in the hotel room, who died, God bless his soul. Gerard, what's his name? The Spanish kid from New York.
Freaking Freddie Prinze.
No.
Fuck Freddie Prinze.
Geraldo.
Geraldo, yes.
They all had TV shows that were all plotted to see if the comic genre would work. And when the numbers went out, they pulled the fucking plug on all three of those shows because they were looking for the next Roseanne. They were looking for the next Tim Allen. When the motto didn't fit, they pulled the plug. That those guys tucked their 60% of comics would have tucked their tails between their legs, moved back home, done local comedy or done radio comedy, and been terrified and furious in Hollywood. I always give extra props to fucking Geraldo, God rest his soul, Margaret Cho, and Tom Rhodes. I've had Tom Rhodes on this podcast various times, and the respect I have for him is because of that. Because he took a defeat that between you and I as men, Lee, I'm telling you, I don't think I can handle.
Wow.
If I had a TV show for 3 years, after the first year, your ego grows a little bit, but it's not stern because you just got a second year. That don't mean dick. Once you get the third year, you start talking shit, dog. You start looking at houses.
Wow.
You start looking at your wife and shit and saying, look at this broke ass bitch. I had two kids with her. It's time to get a new one. I'll keep her around to raise the kids. And I'll get myself a fresh freak. Put her up in a pad, get her a car, nobody knows nothing, you know. I don't even know what my point is. But
no, you're talking about Tom Rhodes.
Tom Rhodes,
the knockout that he took.
To the money that is gone.
Yeah.
But Tom kept doing comedy. Margaret is better than ever. Tom is better than ever. When I really thought about quitting comedy, 6 months, I made a promise to myself that I was going to go see every headliner in Irvine and just dress up and pay for the ticket and not say anything. I would always go in once the show started, by the time the feature act was getting off. And I would sit there, and I think I watched 6 headliners in a week, all different styles. But one of the best guys I watched in those 6 weeks was Greg Giraldo. I learned a lot from him.
He was a freaking genius.
It was very great to watch. So my point is that all that defeat shit is what you do with it. You know, the first 10 years I was here, Jesus Christ, I heard more no's than fucking anything, dog. I heard no for everything. Little festivals, big festivals, roles. But then you just learn to deal with the punches and you play the odds. They can't say no forever. Can't say no forever. I was going to these auditions and killing them years ago, Martin. But they would say to me, you know what? We don't think he's experienced enough for that role. That's I would go into these roles. They were big
You're a
roles.
bad motherfucker, Joey.
I just,
you really are.
You
are
know
a
what,
bad
dog?
motherfucker.
Listen, Jeff Gatlin signed me in the summer of '98 after I shot the pilot for CBS. When the pilot didn't get picked up, I was very fortunate, Martin Moreno. This is when, if you were a stand-up and you had one credit, if they were looking for a role in a movie or a TV show, you could talk a casting director in those days into looking at your 3-minute tape and reading your headshot and deciding. And that dude, water anyone?
I'll take a water.
Yes, please.
I could see Lee's over there
Thank
fucking
you.
sweating from his ears. But that dude, Jeff Gatlin, with that little resume, the pilot, the Taco Bell commercial, and basketball, he got me out for so many things. I wish I have never recovered those notebooks. I recovered his notebooks from 2000. But the first year that I went out with Jeff Gatlin, and I got no reason to lie about this, I'm not embarrassed because you guys don't know what it's like to go through this shit. I felt in my heart I was a minor league dude at that time. I'd been doing comedy 7 years. I could headline a fucking C room, but I didn't really have all the tools to be a headliner. I was just up there telling dirty jokes, and shitty fucking comics giggled and told me I was funny, but I didn't have it. But I could act. To be a good criminal, you gotta act. Queen Latifah's a good fucking act, you know. And that first, from 98 that I signed with Gatlin to 99 and a half, Martin,
Yeah.
I got nothing. Guys, I got nothing. And he would send me out to read it 4 times a week. I'm talking about fucking movies. I'm talking about TV shows, roles that I would look at today and go, how the fuck did he get me out for that? Movies with Travolta, movies with the first one with Will Smith and the fucking guy, the Martian.
Men in Black.
Men in Black. I still remember going all the way to producers for one of the roles in Men in Black. It was only 2 days on Men in Black. I was going to get beat up or kicked or hit with slime or some shit. Rona Cress.
Was it looking for a cop?
That was, if you look at fucking, what were we just saying?
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Look at who casted it. Her name is Rona Cress. I'll never forget.
You auditioned.
You know how many times I went to that audition? 4 fucking times. So in those days, I was going to... First, I would go to auditions for a year and a half. And nothing happened, guys. Nothing happened. He even said to me, Joey, what the fuck is going on? And I go, I don't know, Jeff Gatlin. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I said, fuck it. I bombed at the Improv behind Nick DiPaolo and Doug Stanhope. And I said, you know what? I can't have this no more. I got to learn how to do comedy. So I signed myself up for a triple run. Who was it? Rona Cress.
The casting for Men in Black?
Yeah.
It says David Rubin and Deborah Zane.
No, it was Rona Cress. Or either look at Men in Black 2. Maybe I'm wrong. Who the fuck knows? But I'll never forget, Rona Cress was at Sony. The back lot, like you got to go down. Now the front lot where you go into like that, like the back lot. To be in the back lot of a motherfucker, you got to know people and shit.
You've been around for a long fucking time.
Bro, fuck yeah. And I remember you had to go back there. They offered you water.
Yeah.
And I read for Men in Black, either the first one or the second one. And I'll never forget that. I was like, holy shit, this guy's got me going out.
Yeah. It was the second one.
The second one, Rona Cress. Bro, I went out for everything those days. I would get auditions from him and go, Jeff, this ain't me. He would go in there and read the fucking role and knock them on their feet. And then one day I started hitting. I booked a show on NBC, 4 episodes, recurring. The whole time my fucking hand was shaking when I booked it. But she got mad at me because I told her I didn't want to come in and read for this role. And she goes, why not? I go, I'm not this guy. And she goes, who do you know? Just read the role. And she goes, well, I'm canceling your trip to New York. Come back on Monday for producers. And I went back Monday. I got 4 episodes. I sweat in my mother's grave, bro. When they said to me, when they said,
and this is the thing you didn't want to go out for.
When they said to me, hit your mark, I didn't even know what they were talking about. They kept saying, sir, hit your mark. And I'm like, what are you saying? They're like, just hit your mark. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, sir, step up to that line. Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about action or cut. I knew nothing. Those people were the nicest. Whoever those people were, it was Sidney Poitier's daughter and somebody else's kid. And they were the nicest people in the fucking world to me. I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget them, dog.
Because they loved what you were doing.
I didn't even know what I was doing, Martin. What are you
that's
talking
the thing,
about?
But that's the thing.
Martin, I didn't know what I was doing. I was shitting my fucking pants. I was a fucking plumber who, I was a plumber to the campus. They were all lawyers. And one day I go in the bathroom, episode 7, I go in the bathroom, and I find 200 pounds of weed in the wall. And I tell these law students, and they take it out. This was my big break at acting. This was it. Me and Jeff Getlin won a role at that time. I booked American Gun with James Coburn. I booked the show with Arliss. I booked the fuck. Then he kept saying to me, Joey, big mafia things are going to happen. I want you to take, he was very smart. He goes, I want you to take this movie so you have mafia reel. And I did this movie called The Mezzos about 2 gay gangsters. Once I did that, he took that reel and we kept sending it to New York. And we did Analyze 2. It was all Jeff Gatlin, dog. He was a genius at that shit. He knew exactly when people were going to, before this shit started casting, he'd have your tape out. But for a year and a half, I ate ass, bro. That's what a lot of people don't know. That I would have the notebooks and I'd be depressed. Like they would say the name of the project, the casting director, the role, what the character was, the description, how I was going to read the scenes. I'd have everything. I wrote everything, Martine. Everything. But you can't have it. Well, how you doing, buddy? You look like I shot you at Chihuahua. Look at you.
No, I'm doing good. I'm out there, but I'm good.
Yeah, like I said, you guys are truly savages. That's fucking awesome.
No, this is what we do on the fucking show, man.
Yeah.
What are your next couple dates? You know any dates up front?
Yep, the 7th at the Magicopolis, homie, in Santa Monica. Like I said, it's stand-up comedy, but not really stand-up comedy, Joey. I don't want people to be misled because I've been doing comedy for years.
Listen, it's a lot of things. It's a fucking fusion.
Yeah, it's a
you
fusion.
ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Where do they go?
What's that?
Where do they go if they're not doing nothing? What's the name of the website?
It's Eventbrite, Martin Moreno.
Eventbrite, Martin Moreno.
Yeah.
And that's it. And go down
That's
there
it.
and just go see it. If I know anything about Martin has grown a lot the last couple of years. And I used to see him go up there and do jokes and, you know, with Gabriel. Fluffy's a very professional. He wants clean from time to time. If you give him a tequila, he'll tell you to kick up the heat a little bit, just so he can laugh a little bit to see the expression on people's faces. But you got to keep the show with a certain thing. Now that Martin's doing his own thing, you know, I've known Martin a long time. He's a very dirty dude. He was the original organizer of, what was the name of your company?
Which one?
Syatt Productions.
What was it? Eat and Escape or something?
No. Okay, when you got
Cochinoware.
Cochinoware.
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
got married one time.
Yeah.
You paid me one time to do a show at the Improv with your wife.
Oh, shit.
And you were starting a new
That's right.
t-shirt label.
Yeah. Cochino.
And
That's
so
right.
you had models, Mexican
Oh,
models.
dude,
and
it was
shit.
fucking crazy. It was
And
insane.
you made me do comedy.
Oh,
I ate
come
dick.
on. This.
You forget. You thought I
How
forget about
long
this
ago
shit.
was this shit? Like 12, fucking 15 years ago?
This had to be, and I remember going to you. So you
No. This wasn't. That was shit. At least 10 years ago.
We would have deep conversations on stage. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting married. Look at this poor fucking guy. Did a bug land on you?
I'm wondering if it's leaking now.
Good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got married for a while.
But I remember us having conversations like I think this is the one for me. And I'm like, Martin, listen, I've been married, I've been divorced, and I'm fucking broke. Don't do it. And you're like, I gotta do it. I'm in love. Or we were back and forth for a while. You got married. You started the T-shirt line, Syatt Productions.
It's been a long road, bro.
You were married. You were squeezing the model's titties at the same time. You know.
I was a lying fuck. I was cheating. I've cheated my whole life. And, dude, after a lot of fucking reflection and traveling and seeing the world, I live my life different. I try not to bullshit about anything anymore, Joey. You know, I'm my goal is to fucking
do comedy, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. Life is funny.
I love doing what I do, man.
Yeah.
I love going to a town and doing 5 shows. I feel so fortunate that people showing up to the shows. I try to go up there with the best attitude and the best I can give them. I'm rested. You know, I don't go up there with fucking notes and what, you know. Sometimes I do get high, and I'm sorry, but that's part of the fucking show. That's part of the patois, as they say, Lee. Anyway, Martin, man, I'm happy you came on. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me, Joey.
Listen, man, I know it's a holiday fucking thing. We wanted to put a podcast out on Monday morning just so you guys would have something maybe to have you drive to the fucking, your little barbecue, your little fucking, maybe you're going to see the new Will Ferrell movie. You're going to text Lee later and
tell it all of our
have a safe 4th of July.
Well, listen, don't forget.
International listeners, too.
Do me a favor, people. Don't fucking forget. This weekend I'm in Vegas at the South Point. Friday and Saturday, 7:30 show. You out of there by 9. You could go over to the MGM and still see Joe Rogan's 10 o'clock show. Tony Hinchcliffe will do a half hour. Joe will go up. So if you get a second and that's a combination you want to do and you're going to be in Vegas, that's the way to go. Next weekend, I'm at the fucking St. Louis Helium. Next weekend, back with the brothers and some white dudes. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm at the Borgata in Atlantic City on a Saturday night. 1 show. Bing, bang, boom. Philadelphia, don't sleep. Don't tell me I didn't tell you, cocksuckers. Anyway, I want to thank Martin Moreno. No website, no nothing.
MartinMoreno.com.
Okay, now we're talking. Thank God. It took you 2 hours.
Oh, sorry,
you
man.
kept telling me Evan Bright. I don't know who the fuck Evan Bright is.
No. Eventbrite is where the ticket link is.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I know.
Just go to your website and see what the fuck Martin Moreno's about.
Nice.
Where he's been and what he's doing. You'll recognize him from Gabriel's show on fucking Comedy Central and from many other things he's done. Besides that, you know I love you motherfuckers with all my heart, right? I mean, I'm only trying to tell you about the best things going on. That's why I talk to you about On It. That's the real reason I talk to you about it. You think I blow smoke up your ass? You go to my house, you know what I got in my house? In the fucking cabinet right next to the refrigerator, 2 things of fucking cocoa hemp force. When I got nothing going on, and if I'm hungry, I'll drink a protein shake. If I got something going on, I'm going to jiu-jitsu or something, I would drink a protein shake. When I get back with 2 scoops, I'll carb it up with a half a banana, water, ice cubes. And I'll tell you something, On It, the fucking hemp force protein shake is tremendous after a workout. I think like 32, 33 grams of protein, which your body can only assimilate 30 if you're fucking lucky. Go to onit.com right now. Go to the box, check out the great little supplements they got from Alpha Brain to Shroom Tech to New Mood. They got a great selection. Go check it out. You like something, I'm going to give you 10% off. All you got to do is go to the box and press in.
Church.
BAM! CHUR. CH, and now you're fucking running things. You understand me? Excuse me. Let me talk to you people about something. These days, you can basically, practically get everything on demand, like the podcast, like the church. You can listen to whenever you want, when it's convenient to you, correct? So why the hell are you still going to the post office and dealing with their limited hours, the long line, the key, you got to bring it back now. Now I got to take a walk around the block to get your thing. You get postage on demand right now with Stamps.com. Anything you can do at the post office, you could do right from your desk. Again, right from your desk with Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer and printer. And unlike the post office, Stamp.com never closes. So you can get postage whenever you need it 24/7. Listen, I've used Stamp.com before. Lee has had it. My wife
I still use the
to
scale.
sell out. I mean, listen, my wife loves it, okay? You got to send them packages out, T-shirts for the show, whatever. Stamps.com is the way to go. Listen, I don't care who's out there, what you can do. Stamps.com is the way to go. Now, right now, use my name, Joey, Joey, for the special offer. 4-week trial I'm going to give you. And it includes postage, and ready for this? A digital scale. That's how I roll. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Before you go to the bathroom, before you go get chocolate milk, go to Stamps.com, click on the radio microphone, at the top of the homepage and type in Joey, Joey. It's that simple. That's that. Stamps.com. Enter Joey. Again, Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. No bueno, no good. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You don't want to know nothing. And that's the way this show ends. I love you motherfuckers from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget about me. Friday, Saturday, South Point, 7:30. I'll have you out of there by fucking 9. Next weekend, Helium, South Point. Who's better than you and me? Nobody. To all my brothers in the fucking struggle, I'll see you there. And if not, 2 weeks from now, Philadelphia, Camden, Pensauken, Teterboro. I'll see you at the Borgata, cocksuckers. Have a great 4th of July. You know me, dog. You can play with fucking firecrackers. Just keep them away from the fucking kids, all right? And keep them away from the animals. Don't be a fucking scumbag. Have a great 4th of July with your family. Stay black. I love you. Thanks again to MartinMoreno.com. Who the fuck you think you're dealing with?